Chris producer.
Gwynn and Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
And welcome in, everybody. It is Monday. Nothing wrong with a Monday. We welcome you into Gwynn and Chris here on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., and Cleet Blakeman's best friend, Matt Scraby. Cleet Blakeman let us down yesterday, Scraby. We thought he was going to be on the up and up in that Chiefs game, but lo and behold, the NFL got its wish. The Chiefs are into the Super Bowl. We will talk plenty about Scraby's conspiracy theories.
It's not a conspiracy.
I know. It's
Definitely.
fact.
I mean,
It's
what are they
fact.
talking about right now?
Your conspiracy theory?
Everybody's talking about it, so we have to talk about it, whether or not Josh Allen had the first down or not.
Oh, he did.
We'll talk about whether he had it or not, whether or not Xavier Worthy caught the ball or not, whether or not there really
I'm
was
turning off my microphone. So
a
you can go.
phantom flag on the final fourth down play where Josh Allen totally messed the play up, by the way. Nobody's brought this up, Tony, but he had a guy wide open to his left in the flat that would have easily got 40 yards and probably won the game for them, but he threw the other way. Anyway, the Bills came up short again. In the final analysis, the Eagles destroyed the Commanders. Although, just a quick note on that in my mind, for those who thought that the Jaden Daniels quarterback run would come crashing to a halt, it certainly did not. He played a spectacular game again.
He was the only one.
And he was the only one.
Game.
That was the problem,
Yeah.
right? He was the only one as Washington fell to Philadelphia. So we have another Eagles-Chiefs Super Bowl. Wake me when it's over.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to see that again.
I felt like
Does anybody really want to see it again?
It came down to the end, didn't it?
Two best
It was
teams.
a good game last time. You're right about that, but it seems like you want to see some fresh, somebody new, something new, some different storylines.
Like Chiefs Commanders would have been a disaster.
It might have been, but I would have liked to see Jaden Daniels,
too.
take his shot.
Buffalo Commanders would have been worse.
It would have been.
That
yeah.
would have
So you
that
think
would-
they got the best one then?
This is the best of
Or
what was
Buffalo,
about.
Philly. I mean, if Philly's in
Buffalo-
it, you have to have Philly in it.
Buffalo, Philly, Chiefs, Philly are probably the best two matchups we could have had.
We can only thank the fact that Jason Kelsey retired from football, so we don't have another Kelsey Bowl. But we do have another Andy Reid Bowl. Andy Reid is the leading winner in coaching victories for both franchises.
Yes, he is.
The Eagles
Yes, he is.
and the Chiefs. So our Super Bowl matchup is set. It was a good weekend for the San Diego State basketball teams. That's plural.
Yeah.
The men really looked impressive in a victory at Nevada on Saturday night. To that end, J.D. Luster, Aztec men's basketball assistant coach, will join us a little later in the program. And the Aztec women got a huge win on Saturday, knocking off UNLV, a team that had previously won 52 of its last 53 games. So we'll talk a little bit about those games and get into the NBA and everything else that's going on. But we have to start with this, guys. The infighting in the Padres organization is continuing, and it's been brought to light a little bit more in a story by Kevin Acey of the San Diego Union-Tribune. You know, he's the Padre beat writer. And I just read you a couple. Basically, the article says the two sides both think something completely opposite, and therein lies the reason for a lawsuit.
Yeah, it seems like Kevin did a good job of
He did.
getting both sides put out there for everybody to kind of make their own assumptions.
Make up your own mind who you think is right, who you think is wrong. If that really should matter. Like, does it really matter?
It really doesn't.
Right? It doesn't really matter.
At all. Right.
The only people who's going to matter is the court system.
Right.
They'll sort this out. They'll figure out who's right, who's wrong, and where the control of this franchise is going to go. But in the meantime, what matters to us is the fact that this is happening, and it seems to be slowing the progress of things for the Padres organization.
I think ultimately,
as was alluded to by Jerks and Profar last week.
Right. I think ultimately that is what fans are upset about.
Yeah.
And why they are even attempting to pick sides in this is because ultimately they want what they were experiencing prior to this,
Right.
which, not counting last year where they actually went down in
Well,
salary.
they needed to go
They had
down,
to.
and we all agreed that was
100%.
the smart thing to do.
100%. But that is why the fans are going to pick sides is because ultimately, whatever side they want
somebody to pick a side and make a decision,
right?
So that we can move on.
That's exactly what they want.
Because basically, whichever side you happen to be on, that's not going to help us. What's going to help us is some sort of conclusion to this.
Right.
But we're nowhere.
And
we appear to be nowhere near that.
We don't seem to be anywhere close to that, at least as it seems right now.
Right. So Kevin Acee did a good job. If you want to read the article, it's online. I don't think it's yet in the newspaper. I think it came out this morning online, so you have to go to the San Diego Union Tribune website. But he did get in an email exchange with Sheil Seidler, right? He sent her a bunch of questions, or her representatives questions. They sent answers back. So in one of those email responses, she was basically asked, why she thinks she should be, or should be the one in control of the Padres, and if she has any proof / something to support her claim that she should be the one in charge of the Padres. And this was Sheil's email back to Kevin Acee. Quote, "It is a challenge to respond to false claims when they are being spread by anonymous sources. What I do know is there are many people within the Padres organization or with close ties who would strongly refute those claims and offer firsthand examples of my deep involvement in the franchise for more than a decade. Sadly, however, it is my understanding that they have been instructed in writing not to assist me in explaining their knowledge of my role in the decision-making related to the team. It is also my understanding they feel they can't help without losing their jobs, even though, as I understand it, most of the baseball part of the organization remains supportive of me." That is Sheil's comment to Kevin Acee. It also includes, honestly, in there, Tony, it includes some damning comments to the other side here, saying that they have been threatened by the other side. I mean, that's what she's saying.
Right.
The statement sent to the Union Tribune on behalf of the Peter Seidler Trust, of which Matt Seidler is the trustee, this is the opposite side, said, quote, "Sheil continues to be a part of the Padres family, but it is not correct to say that she had any role in running the franchise. It is unfortunate that she has taken this course of action. The trustees of the Peter Seidler Trust are solely focused on carrying out Peter's written instructions. That includes setting the Padres up to build on the momentum of the 2024 season in pursuit of a World Series championship for the city of San Diego." So basically, there you have it. You have both sides. One side believes something completely different than from the other side. Sheil Seidler believes that it is absolutely her place, her right to be running the Padres. And the Peter Seidler Trust side, Matt Seidler, etc., says, nah, kind of isn't.
Yeah, and that is
it's just going to be up to somebody else to decide this. But we need a resolution, and I don't know. These things take a long time, unfortunately.
Can't think of very many instances where it happened. A lawsuit was filed, and it just went really fast. And
the judge said, "You know what? Clear my calendar. I want to hear the complaint on both sides. I'd like it this morning in my office.
Right.
I'll render a decision by noon.
Right. That doesn't
happen.
That doesn't happen. And so,
No.
Listen, I think at this point, it would be fair for people to surmise that until this is fixed, it's hard to see there being any big splashes in terms of signings, right? Maybe some trades because you can trade salaries and different things of that nature, but
without increasing
the payroll. But
right,
who at this point it would seem as though things are frozen, like the people who you would normally go to get an answer on said player in terms of financially.
Where does A.J. Preller go?
What is he going to go?
Yeah, where's he going? Who's directing him on what to do? Who's he listening to?
It complicates all of that
quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we must say on this show that it was our own Tony Gwynn Jr. on the day that this all came out, or the first lawsuit, news of the lawsuit. Tony said, yeah, I've been a part of something like this.
Yeah.
And normally what happens is it kind of puts everything on hold. And that has looked like it's going to be accurate.
That's where we are. I mean, the thing that gives you pause is that last year we were at this same point and no moves have been made. But there certainly wasn't this type of cloud hanging over the organization at this point. So
excellent call.
It's we just are all going to be kind of sitting back and waiting to see how and which direction this ends up going, one way or the other.
But honestly, to me, smart money doesn't take a side. Smart money just hopes for a resolution.
Right.
It really doesn't matter whose side you want to believe at the moment. Just get a resolution so we can get this team back on track. All right. Kevin wrote another article over the weekend that was quite good as well, talking about how the Padres, despite all of this, still probably going to end up in the top 10 payroll in Major League Baseball. So maybe the doom and gloom isn't everything everybody is making it out to be. We will discuss all of that moving forward here. Much more on the AFC Championship game. There was no controversy in the NFC, so we'll probably focus mostly on Scraby's conspiracy theories.
We will.
Moving forward.
It's funny how it always falls.
He's been
the Chiefs.
bottled up until this point. So
It's funny how no one ever has any sort of questions about any other games that happen except for the Chiefs.
You're creating
and literally
questions.
every single week we are talking about a play that went their way that everybody sees different. And Tony is the only person I know who's like, I believe the Chiefs are doing everything on the up and up.
no one likes a winner. They all want to see the winner be torn down. And
Not
stuff.
Sam Levitt. He's jumping on the bandwagon.
Go ahead, Sammy.
He said he likes greatness.
We will begin.
Said you're probably a Dodger fan too, Sam.
Oh, there you go.
We will begin
There's
tearing.
not greatness over there. They won one title. That's it.
We'll begin tearing down the Chiefs when we come back. Gwynn and Chris underway for a Monday. Glad you're with us. 97.3 The Fan.
2:18 on the clock.
All right, this one's coming out of rotation.
That was the worst one I've ever heard.
I didn't realize I had lyrics.
It was a good reggae beat there for a second, and then
that's going out.
the words hit.
That's out of rotation. Did not realize that.
2:18 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Crisello, Matthew Scraby. Greg Camarillo will join us a little bit later in this hour, talk some NFL.
Interesting to see whether or not he thinks the
Can't wait.
NFL is cheating for the Chiefs.
Can't wait to hear from GC.
I've known Greg for a long time. We did 100 episodes of a football podcast.
Yes, you did. What do you think? How do you think he's going to take this?
I think he's going to take it the way all athletes do. You should have got the
This
first down.
is Stanford grad here. This is a very smart individual.
I think he's going to say that the Bills needed to do more.
How about running a different play other than that stupid quarterback sneak over the left guard?
They ask why the tush push is not outlawed because, again, not everybody can execute it. As we
Buffalo
saw.
executed it all year, but they were executing it against the likes of the Dolphins and the Jets.
Exactly.
And people like that who have no toughness.
That matters, for sure.
It does. And you know, but look, the Chiefs obviously knew it was coming, yet the Bills continued to bang their head against the wall and do it anyway.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, they deserve the outcome they got.
J.D. Luster, Aztec men's basketball assistant, will join us in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll have a Padres pin pal in the 3 o'clock hour as well. Chris teased it when we went to break. You know, we had the kind of war of words between both sides. I hate to say war of words. They had two sides presented on both sides in terms of ownership and where that's going. AC was busy at work this weekend. I mean, he had those two articles this morning. He had one pertaining to the payroll. Padres, as Chris mentioned before we went to break, are likely to be in the top 10 when it's all said and done in terms of payroll. And the opening to his article, I think, is a good read. Hey, but it could be better with either anger or sadness as the way it starts.
Okay.
Which one do you guys want?
Let's go anger because there's a lot of anger out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything is awful. The Dodgers are signing everyone, paying them whatever and however they want, while the Padres have virtually done nothing to improve this roster this offseason.
That describes a lot of the anger. Yes,
That is perfect.
It does, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And on the way out the door, the article continues in the beginning. Jerickson Profar, a big part of the heart of last year's team, inadvertently poured kerosene on the dumpster that is ablaze. And his quote, obviously the Padres having some issues with their ownership and all that. Profar said in a video video call with reporters after signing with the Braves, it was difficult to go back to San Diego.
Fair enough. Because that is well describes the feeling of many people.
And I thought about that because as you read that beginning, it can be a representative of how Padre fans are feeling, whether it's anger or sadness right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the article really isn't about that. The article is really about maybe the doom or the anger and sadness is misplaced because the Padres ultimately will end up with a top 10 payroll this year. Chris, I don't know that massages anybody's feelings on this one, though.
Well, we brought this up many times.
Yeah.
I mean, I said in as many words, if it wasn't last week, the week before, that a roster which includes Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth, Luis Arraez, Yu Darvish, Michael King, Dylan Cease, and don't let me leave out the near Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
Jackson Merrill. All right, so if you got a roster that includes all of those good players, like all-star caliber players, that was what? How many? 10?
Yep.
9. Robert Suarez, I could put him in there. So maybe 9 or 10 all-star caliber players is not likely to be a bad team. The only reason it seems like it's going to be, quote, if that's the way you want to call it, a bad team or an unsuccessful team, is because of the absurd splash that the Dodgers have made and the fact that the Padres have not yet, and yet is the key word, we've said it all along, have not yet addressed the openings and holes that they have on their teams.
Splash is only the payroll splash is only part of it, though. I think the other part, why it feels like that, is because those teams are acquiring new toys. These aren't guys that were there last year, as it is for the
Giants,
Padres.
got Adames. The Braves, not the Braves. The Diamondbacks have Corbin Burns and others. Yeah, so
naturally, the feeling is,
yes.
Oh, they got all this new stuff over here, and
all this shiny
we
new
got all
stuff.
this old stuff.
Yeah, our house still looks the same as it did last year.
But you still got a sturdy house that you come to every day.
Still a nice house.
Beautiful house.
Yeah.
And,
But there's no bathroom upstairs.
No, there's a bathroom. It's just not remodeled.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I do see that.
You got all of the same stuff.
Toilet's not flushing as smoothly
You don't have
as it used to.
have a bidet in your bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what are we doing now?
I'm just saying. You don't have the new toys. And so, ultimately, Dodgers got better. Giants got better. Diamondbacks got better. And
Padres were already good, though.
Padres are the same, but they were already pretty good. Now the question is, can they do something to just move the line a little bit? Will they have the will they have the cash to do something a little bit?
Or will AJ have the ability to hit another couple of home runs on last-minute free agency / trades?
Right.
Which he certainly did last year, but no guarantee he'll do it again. I do have one quick thing to say if Mike Schilt happens to be listening, and I know he doesn't like to miss me on the air very often.
I heard that too, Chris.
Yeah, right. But if Mike's listening and the guys out there, can you get off to kind of a quick start this year, like 10-8? I'll even take 10-8. You guys go 4-10 out of the gate. It is going to be a miserable first 2 or 3 weeks for us on this program.
Hey,
right?
The funny thing is,
we sold you some. We're terrible.
You're 1,000% right. And the reality is, they could go 4-10 to start the year, and then go 20-5 the next, and it would still feel the same way.
I know.
But you're right. You're right. It would be, at least from a selfish point of view,
please,
it would be very helpful for
help us. Help you. Just get off to an okay start.
Hey,
the fans are going to be livid.
Last year, they came back from Korea at 500, so that was
a big deal.
They
was.
Yeah, but
they'd have lost both games.
I don't know if the teetering of last year's first half will it feel differently this year?
Right, they were 500 the entire first half last year.
Pretty much the entire
Couldn't
time.
get more than one game over, one game under.
Right.
And we bemoaned that for 3 straight months.
Would we be okay with that this year, based on what we know right now?
Probably not.
No.
I agree. No.
I don't think there'll be as easy.
And in fairness, if they're doing that teetering again this year, the Dodgers will probably have run away to at least a 15-game lead by then.
Maybe.
So,
I mean, can we even really ever think the division is within reach unless the Dodgers suffer major injury?
It was in reach last year. And they signed Shohei Ohtani.
But now they've added
and Yamamoto.
But now they've added a bunch of guys.
No, they
okay,
did. I don't deny that. They're not a bunch. They've added quite a few.
It's funny you guys bring this up because on the Scraby Show tonight, this weekend, I went through.
What is the Scraby Show? Is that the same as the Scraby Chronicles?
Yes, it's from 6 to 7.
I'm glad we got clarification on that.
I went through and I went through the big 6, which is Fernando, Manny, Bogey, Jackson Merrill. I'm forgetting.
Who's your 6th?
Arise.
That's
I
6
need one
right
more.
There.
That's 6? Okay, anyway, I went through them. Like, because I keep hearing this whole thing, well, our core is here, we're going to be fine, So I wanted to see the stats. How much did those guys contribute to last year's runs and home runs and things like that? All those guys contributed more than 50% of what the Padres put out last year. So,
of course they did.
But what I'm saying is like, it's hard to quantify that in my head because that's only 6 of them. And you need 9 players, I believe, to play.
It's just very, very good math there.
Like, how fine of a line is this year between one injury taking the Padres out of contention?
I mean, in terms of that, as of right now, an injury could be pretty devastating without the depth that you need. Remember, when Toddy went down, David Peralta stepped up
Big
and
time.
was huge
Yeah.
for the Pods.
And he's still available this year.
He's still out there.
Yes, he is.
Dylan
Carlson is not, for those waiting for him to sign.
we have
Where'd
Sorry,
he go,
Scrape.
Chris? Where'd he go?
I can't with you.
I'm in a weird mood today, everyone.
Let's get to break because this will spiral out of control if we stay here. Greg Camarillo joins us next. Talking some NFL football. Can't wait to see where my man's mind is on the Kansas City Chiefs issues. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby, Greg Camarillo, one of our NFL guys, will join us to talk about yesterday's NFC and AFC championship games. Of course, the spotting of the football in the Chiefs-Bills game has totally overwhelmed and overshadowed Saquon Barkley running up and down the field, Jalen Hurts having a remarkable game, Patrick Mahomes doing it again. And by the way, the Chiefs had not scored 30 points in a game this season.
Picked
until
a great time
they had
to do it.
Yep. Isn't that amazing?
With Buffalo finished with 29?
Yeah, 32-29. But isn't it incredible how teams that just have to have something find a way? It'll be a Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. Greg Camarillo here shortly to discuss that. Scrape, where is the... Oh, here it is. Before we get to Greg, I'm sorry, I want to remind everybody. 5:30 today, so it's 3 hours away. Coming up at 5:30, we will announce today's biggest fan. And you out there will get a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey suite at a future Padres game. But the only way you have a chance is to register your name. Go to 973thefan.sd.com/biggest-fan. Get registered, and then your name potentially could be called today or any of the next coming days. I believe we announce a name every day, 3 times a day. 9:30, 1:30, 5:30. One time per show. So we will make our call at 5:30 today. Go ahead and get yourself registered so you have a shot at it.
If we're in break, we will say it first thing on the other side of the break.
Right. Yeah, we're usually in break right at 5:30, but
our boss gave us directives to get out
we
at
will
28.
We will be out.
We'll be in
a
break
announcement at 5:30. So
yeah,
it's right up Scraby's alley.
Adam.
It's right up Scraby's alley.
The play in question that everybody can't stop talking about happened with 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. 4th and 1. Bills had the lead at the time, 22-21, trying to go down the field and extend their lead. But from the Kansas City 41-yard line, Josh Allen ran that stupid quarterback sneak off the left guard that they'd already run 3 or 4 times and had very little success with, if any. And the Chiefs stopped the play. But here's where the big controversy comes in. And this is why people are trying to make something of this, Tony. One of the officials from the, go figure, the Bills side of the field ran in, basically spotting it as if it was going to be a first down.
Yeah.
The other official, go figure, from the Chiefs side of the field, ran in, apparently to spot it short of the first down. Now, why did they go with that guy over the other guy? We don't know. But wherever they spotted it, it looked like they spotted it short, but then they went to review, they looked at it again, and they determined that they got it right.
To me, this boils down to what we often are talking about during baseball, instant replays, what the call on the field was.
Right.
And I heard the reason why in this particular case, they went to the official on the Chiefs side,
right,
is because the play ends up going towards that sideline, towards that official.
Right.
So it becomes his, I guess,
more his responsibility. The argument against that is that Josh Allen was facing toward the other sideline, so that official, in a lot of people's estimation, had a better view of where the ball actually was.
Not with what's 95? What's the big defensive line?
Chris
Jones and another body in front of him. So that's going to be either side.
Nobody
ultimately.
can see anything.
Right. And so I think the call on the field ultimately ends up being
they couldn't change it
because once they go to replay, you know they're not going to overturn something in that specific situation.
They're not going to overturn something that is not in the Chiefs' favor. You're absolutely right about that.
Not what I said.
If the
that
Chiefs,
was just for you, Scraby.
If the Chiefs were the ones going for the first down, this would be a first down.
Not what I said.
This would be a first down if the Chiefs had the ball.
Can you agree with me on one thing, Scraby? And I don't, maybe you won't, because I know where you're coming from here. Can you agree with me on one thing? all of the people today, Pat McAfee is one, and I've seen many, many others. All the people today that are saying that was clearly a first down and they messed up the call. It was not clearly a first down. You cannot tell me without 100% certainty that it was a first down and they just screwed up the call.
That's what is irritating me
That's irritating me a little, to be honest, as well.
You walk in and Scraby is like, just without a doubt, like, there's no way.
Like it was 5 yards over the line.
Get out of here with that.
He
now,
clearly
you want to
was
say
not.
It was questionable, I'm all for it.
I'll give you questionable, but it was not clearly a first down. Let's get that,
Let's establish that
establish that.
Aha! Ask our professional athlete,
we will,
former NFL wide receiver, what he thinks about the call.
We've already said there are a bunch of people that think he got a first down.
Yeah.
That's not in dispute.
What we're disputing is this notion that it was clearly a first down.
Right.
All right, Greg Camarillo does join us. Hi, Greg. Awesome to have you. Jump in.
All right. First of all, let's just start by saying it's a first down. If you watch the ref at the top, he runs in, goes around a player, bubbles backwards, and then never goes back to the first down. So where he started is where he spotted the ball. Should have been a first down. And for the excitement of the game, give him a first down. Let us watch let us have some more fun. But what it brings up, can we put a computer chip in the ball? Can we just end this?
No kidding, Greg. You're bringing up the point that should be brought up here. You're bringing up the point that everybody should be bringing up here. We have the technology to do just about anything. How can we not have something, a computer chip of some sort at the tip or in the ball that determines exactly where it is? You're bringing up a point that everyone should be saying.
It is wild with the sport of football. It's literally a ref from the sideline sees where he thinks where the ball was when the person fell down, and then just jogs out there, puts his foot down and says, here, tosses the ball to someone on the other part of the field who goes and he's like, oh, it looks like about here.
Yeah.
There's too much money on the line. There's too many careers on the line. Let's put some science to this thing and get it right.
I love it, Greg. I love it. Let me ask you one more, and then we'll try to actually talk about the games. The catch that Xavier Worthy did or didn't make, you're a receiver. What'd you think of that?
I must have been cooking dinner at that exact moment.
The one where
Well, no one's making it a big deal because everybody's trying to scrub it under their sweep it under the rug.
No, they're not trying to scrub it.
Yes.
Stop it, Scraby.
It's crazy, Greg. It's crazy.
Greg, there was basically a jump ball. It looked.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we give that to the offense. That's just the way things go.
I can
very good.
Yeah, that's just, you got to, on those things, when it's a turnover, it changes the game so much that you err on the side of offense. And so I'm okay with that.
Okay, Greg, outside of these two conspiracy theories that happened during this game, we had two terrific performances again by two AFC quarterbacks. Yeah. Are we looking at an era very similar to MJ, where there's going to be, and I heard Ryan Clark say this earlier, there's going to be at least 3, maybe 4 gold jackets in the AFC alone
that don't have
and
rings.
that may very well not end up with rings because of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, and I hate it. I don't like it. Look, we lost. We didn't even get to see Lamar Jackson play this week, which is wild. But then we get to see Josh Allen, who's also amazing, and then we don't get to see him in the Super Bowl. I feel robbed of seeing these amazing talents with a ring on the line. And I know it's fun every playoff that we get to see that. But Josh Allen on that final play, there's a blitz, there's 3 guys in his face, and he miraculously finds the one guy that's wide open. And now it was a rough throw and would have been a rough catch. But for him to do that and find the guy and make the catch, this is an amazing talent quarterback who just got beat out by someone that is slightly better and
Right.
One of the most amazing we've ever seen. It is totally true. We have greats playing the game that will not play in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, Jordan did it to the likes of Barkley, to Ewing, to Karl Malone, Clyde Drexler,
Stockton. You could
Stockton. There's so many. I can't think of them all, but every one of those are Hall of Fame players, and they would have won in any other era. But, maybe Josh Allen is going to just have to be empty-handed. And Lamar Jackson.
Or Patrick Mahomes can go play baseball for a couple of years. Crack open the door.
Crack open the door. Can we get him in a cheating? Can we get him in a gambling scandal? Because a lot of people say that's why Jordan went to play baseball.
One of the many conspiracy theories out there.
Greg, okay, we'll finish with the Buffalo KC game because no one's talking about the other game and the performances of Barkley and Jalen Hurts. Was there anything Buffalo did that you didn't like? Honestly, to me, they didn't go to the running game until it was far too late in the second half. They should have tried to get that thing going early on. Once they did, man, the Chiefs seemed almost powerless to stop them. The other thing Buffalo did not do is they never adjusted to Patrick Mahomes rolling out to the right and gaining, easy yardage all game long. He scored 2 touchdowns on that play. Don't you have to make some adjustments?
You would think yes, but it's really the magic of Patrick Mahomes, and whatever you do, the reason he's so good is because he knows the answer. Now, Andy Reid and the coaching staff put him in situations to go find that answer, but he's the guy that can actually, at that split second, know exactly what his reaction is, and you just see his poise. At any moment of the game, he looks like he's just having a nice Sunday brunch. Like, he doesn't look worried at all. So, if you blitz him, he's going to find the gap in the defense and pass it away. If you don't blitz him, he's going to sit back there and direct traffic and pick you apart. You can't stop everything with Patrick Mahomes. And if you cover all his receivers and you rush with a few and just leave the slightest little crack, he's athletic enough to run around and make it happen. And so, I think Buffalo did adjust on offense, which is the sign of a good team, and they were able to get going after a slow start. But there's only so much you can do against greatness, and they gave it their best shot, and it just wasn't good enough.
I think Josh Allen said it best. In order to be the champs, you got to beat the champs, and he goes down 0-4 in playoff games against Patrick Mahomes. So speaking of that greatness, that's fully displayed there. Let's go to the other game, Greg. Saquon Barkley. I mean, obviously all year long he has these explosive runs. You typically think you get to the postseason, those are a little bit hard to come by. He's ripped off one in each of these games that they've been in. Yep. What is it about him that makes him so dynamic in these runs that he has that really set the tone most of these games for the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, it's everything that you could draw up for a running back. And so you talk about in games in the playoffs where it's harder to come by. You even 2 weeks ago add the snow game to it, and it's still no problem. I can go 70 yards in the snow, no issue. So he has absolutely everything. So he has the vision. We saw, if you look at the highlight of the snow game run, there are 2 linebackers coming right at him, and he's supposed to run straight forward right at him, and they have him stop. But he has that vision to know, okay, there appears to be a crack to the left. Let me go that way, and then takes off. He has the speed. Once he gets through the first level, like, as a safety or a DB trying to stop this guy, he has the speed, so you got to pick your good angle and try to get to him, which you're not going to do. But he's also the strongest guy out there. So if you want to tackle him and he wants to run into you, you're going to look terrible. And so he is the perfect storm as a running back. And now he has the team around him so he can show that off, because with the Giants, we never got to see that. But now he's got the support cast, and so we get to see 100% of his talent, and it is amazing to watch.
Greg Camarillo is with us in the wake of the championship games. He did lose yesterday, Jaden Daniels, the Washington rookie, but I don't think he hurt his own stock, Greg. As Tony said earlier, it seemed like he was just the only guy in the Commanders who played well yesterday, and no quarterback can do it all alone. But I thought he was great again. Did you?
Yeah, he looked great. And for that to be a rookie out there, I saw this on TV, so I will not take credit of it. They say it's the best rookie performance since Jane Austen wrote Pride and Prejudice in 1819. Wow. And I totally agree with that.
I remember when that book arrived on my doorstep.
Oh, do you? That's
from
awesome.
Pony Express.
Was that Amazon back then?
Yeah.
So he had an outstanding year, one for the record books, and he wasn't the one turning the ball over, No. And it's not to blame the other guys. It's a team sport. But when you turn the ball over in the playoffs, and we saw this with Buffalo as well, you just can't win. No matter how close you get, when you turn the ball over, you're not going to win in the playoffs. And so that was the Commanders' problem.
Greg Camarino joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. And Greg, obviously, the other guy that had kind of taken a lot of flack is Jalen Hurts. He was questioned pretty much going into this postseason on how healthy he was, especially after last week that he has the knee injury. Can he make the key throw when possible? We saw A.J. Brown reading books in order to kind of keep himself dialed in. He answered that call. It seemed like it in last night's ball game. He made a fourth down throw that I don't know could have been put in any better spot.
How was the coverage on that? The ball just went past the guy's fingertips.
It was really.
Is that the one to A.J. Brown?
Yeah, that's the one to A.J. Brown.
Yep.
Did you think that he was able to kind of quiet the critics a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. And I think you picked the perfect play. So they line up, they're blitzing. You know the blitz is coming. You have receivers pressed up. You know you have a one-on-one matchup with A.J. Brown, which is usually a good one-on-one matchup to go to. But he still needs to make the perfect throw. He identified the play, which is step number one, shows his quarterback intelligence. But then you still need to see the actual quarterbacking play of delivering a fade ball. That's not an easy throw. It's easier to A.J. Brown and other people, but it's not an easy throw. And so when the moment called for it, he knew where to go, he knew how to throw it, and he delivered. And that's what you need from a quarterback when you're seeking out a championship. And a few times Buffalo got hit with that similar situation and that didn't have the answer.
Yeah.
And so that's what we'd like to see from Jalen Hurts is that level of poise and confidence when the game's on the line and you need to make that play, go make that play.
That throw, Tony and Greg, was a perfect example of what Dan Marino used to say. And Dan Marino always said, the perfect defense cannot stop the perfect pass. That pass was just
it was perfect,
unbelievable, just over the guy's fingers. All right, Greg, we got 2 weeks to sort this all out, but give me your first thoughts. I mean, should we even bother? Like, we'll try to figure out a way the Eagles are going to win, but at the end we know Kansas City's going to win, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
or is there any reason to?
Unfortunately, that's where I'm at. Chris, I spent 20 years trying to figure out how Tom Brady was going to lose, and every year I was convinced, this is the year that he's going down, and it never happened.
Yeah.
And so, I'll take the same attitude. This is the year that Patrick Mahomes takes an L, but I don't see it happening. The Eagles' hope is to heavy run the ball because when Saquon has it, great things happen, and that also means Patrick doesn't have it. But is that enough? I don't think it's enough. I think the Chiefs get their three-peat.
Greg Camarillo, you're on a roll today. Very good, Greg. Enjoyed it very much. Thanks so much. We'll catch up with you soon. There goes Greg Camarillo. He was on a roll today. Very good. All right, so he's saying what a lot of people are going to say. We'll kick it all around for 2 weeks, Tony.
Yeah.
Is that your first thought, though, after the two games yesterday? Like, doesn't matter what the Eagles do.
Yeah, pretty much. I learned, unlike Greg, I learned my lesson trying to pick against Tom Brady.
I picked
forever.
Against,
I picked against him every single time.
Yeah, I started picking for Tom Brady. It was hard for me to do because he was in the Dolphins division, so I wanted him to lose. And then eventually I got tired of losing the Super Bowl pick, so I started going with him.
Can't beat him, join him.
And it's the same thing with Mahomes. I mean, they don't look like they have as good a team as the Eagles.
Nope.
I know you're going to be able to sit.
No, they don't have as good of a team as the Eagles on paper.
Okay.
Straight up and down.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles got better receivers, right, on paper.
Yep.
They got the better running back by a mile.
Yep.
Who's got a better offensive line? The Eagles.
Defensive line.
Eagles. The Chiefs is pretty good. Yeah. It's going to be hard to pick against KC, unfortunately.
Won't do it.
And as Scraby would like to tell you, Chiefs have another team on their side.
The NFL.
The refs.
The Zebras.
Cleat did not come through.
They brought the ringer in for you guys, and they still couldn't beat the Chiefs.
They brought the ringer in, the guy that never wins when the Chiefs never win with him, and they still won.
They still won.
Guess what, guys? Remember we were talking last week about false penalties? This was not a penalty. This was a judgment call, so they are clear of that. There were no iffy penalties.
The ringer was brought in for this game,
calls.
and it still went Chiefs' way.
I don't know how Josh Allen is. The line bisects him. Unless the ball is in this hand.
It was in the right hand.
No, he was holding it in the middle of his body. Everybody saw that. Tony just doesn't like to admit when there might be other forces out there.
Well, he's going to be stewing like this for 3 hours, and then the Chronicles will start, and he'll let it all out.
All season. On the clock, Tony Gwynn
A
Jr.
nickname for today's show. Welcome back to the oven. It's hotter than hell in here.
Oh, yes. It is. It's Scraby put the kibosh on our door being open.
Can't even have the door open.
Let some
Scraby
air
says
in here.
no.
It's so funny because it's no
This guy's got a
warmer.
full-on sweater on too, by the way.
I'm
like
always
he's,
sweating.
Jeez Louise.
I'm always sweating.
Is that out of the Chris Ello staple right there?
They
Do
all
I wear
are. He
anything
doesn't have
else?
anything that I didn't give him.
Do I wear anything else?
I usually wear long sleeves because around 4 o'clock it'll turn into an ice box. But
It will.
right now it's the microwave.
I can't wait till the icebox get
Yeah,
here
we
at
need
this
it.
point.
We
It's
need it.
not hot in here.
It is.
Tony's also wearing long sleeves, so
I am too.
Yes, we both are. It's hot. It's
Sleeves
usually
up.
cold in here.
sleeves up.
We got a daily gambit coming your way. Be interested to see how everybody did over the weekend. I know my Lakers got a couple victories. Aztecs got a victory.
Plural.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both
good weekend for the
men and women.
Aztecs.
Yeah. We'll have JD Luster 4 o'clock.
Harris English got a victory too. He didn't mention the thrilling conclusion of the Farmers.
Good old Harris.
Harris.
That was lost there for a second.
Yeah, you were like, who?
Until you said Farmers. I was like, okay, yeah.
Harris English with the one-shot win. Where is
Two
he from?
The two last
US?
names?
Yeah, he's an American.
Should be.
Yes, Harris
Shouldn't be.
English.
His name's English.
Oh yeah, he should be. He's definitely American, but maybe his family is from England or something
Great
like that.
Britain.
I watched and I thought San Diego showed itself very well in this tournament.
We always do.
I feel like
and
I was
Torrey
about to say
Pines
that.
itself showed itself very well.
It always
because
does.
It ended, I think, the winning score was 8 under, possibly. Chris, you
It's
have
a
that
pretty
in
good
front of
score. I think it was 8 under. Yes.
you? Okay, so 8 under is a good test.
Right, it's not like a 17
No,
or where they're
no.
just blowing the
That
course
means
up.
that the course was difficult enough for the pros, but some guys were playing good enough to make some shots. So.
And, congratulations to our guy Joel Damon, who was, the guy we were all kind of secretly rooting for there.
Oh, yeah. The was this the everyman's golfer?
Yeah.
Every man's golfer. He was down 2 shots going into the final round and was not heard from on Saturday. That's what happens when you don't even yourself think you can
Right.
win.
Hey, let's go through Charlie Hoffman's scorecard because
Wait, do we have time to do that?
we
sir?
can do that later. You're
Okay,
right.
just want to
You're
make
right.
sure. Let's stay
You're
on
right.
track here. Real
You're
quick
right.
before we get to our daily gambit, we talked a little bit about before on Friday. Ryan Presley, the reliever for the Astros, has waived his no-trade clause. He will head to the Cubs for some prospects. Cubs trying to incrementally
And Ryan
get a
Presley
little
said he would
better.
only do that if he was guaranteed the closer
Closer spot.
job.
There you go.
With all due respect, I mean, honestly, he's good, but I mean, can you do that?
Yeah, if you got
In
no
this day
trade,
and age, you
if
just say no. But can the Cubs do that?
Oh,
What if they have somebody that they really want to have close a few games here and there?
I don't think you're making the move for Ryan Presley if you had that guy already.
Yeah.
They're not in a position where they're like, let's stockpile our bullpen
No,
in
you're
the
right,
backside.
but,
So
no
no trades give you
put you behind the 8 ball, though.
It
I mean, I'm
does.
sorry.
Don't get me wrong.
He has to be the closer. It doesn't matter what happens.
Cubs fans will certainly remind him of that if he gets off to a slow start.
Very
So,
good point.
Let's get to the daily gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. I did gamble responsibly over the weekend. I lost my parlay because Josh Allen didn't have a lot of yards yesterday. So even when you think it's a lock, it's not a lock.
Never a
everybody.
lock.
Never.
You're on your way to blowing the money you won a couple of weeks ago.
No, I told you. I've already transferred 200 of the 330 into
but
my savings
You're
account.
still blowing money, though.
I'm giving myself 130 to use till like June.
Okay. All right.
And if I'm
Fair
out,
enough.
I'm out. That's my
We'll
rule.
be checking back in
That's my rule.
June.
Over the weekend, I found out that this kid I know was betting, and he's in high school. And I'm like, dude, you need to get this together.
There are so
Okay.
many,
There
so
are
many
a lot
kids are
of
doing
those.
that.
Yeah.
I must tell you, Scrabe. It's not.
It scared me.
It's the unintended consequence of all of this that's going on out there.
Yep.
Okay. Who had more points over the weekend in their championship game? The AFC game or the NFC game? Chris and I chose NFC. Tony chose AFC. AFC did score a lot of points. They combined for 61, but the NFC championship obviously was bigger. 78 points,
I mean,
thanks
if
to
the
55
Commanders
from
can
the
just
Eagles.
not turn the ball over, I probably win this one. But they decided to turn it over, and the Eagles literally made them pay for all 4 of them.
Butterfingers.
28
like,
points on 4 turnovers.
crazy. And they were all rushing touchdowns, right?
7 of the 8.
7 of the 8 were rushing touchdowns.
Hurts through one TD pass.
Saquon Barkley, rushing yards minus 35 against Jaden Daniels and Brian Robinson. Tony chose the Washington Crew. I chose the Washington Crew. Chris chose Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon had
You almost had it.
118 yards minus the 35 would make it 83. Jaden Daniels had 48 yards rushing. Brian Robinson had 36 for 84.
Wow.
So
You guys won by 1 yard.
The Washington Bros.
Yeah. You'd have never expected that because it didn't seem like Robinson or Daniels ever ran for anything.
No, it
and
didn't.
Barkley's going up and down the field. You would have thought that was an easy win for Barkley.
Let's see. Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts, who had more passing yards?
Rushing.
Oh, it was rushing.
Yes, it was.
Uh-oh.
I figured it out, though. It's okay. Josh Allen had 39. Jalen Hurts had 16 plus 15, 31. So Josh Allen won that one.
Josh Allen wins that one. Chris and I said Josh Allen. Tony said Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts' knee looked fine to me.
It did.
Yes, I think the whole injury thing.
It was a
fugazi.
It was a fugazi.
They threw it out there, and I bought it, and I bet you the Commanders bought it.
Not only did they throw it out there, they also played like it for the rest of that game, previous game. So you walked in thinking, oh yeah, he didn't really do anything explosive, and then all of a sudden,
then they let him loose on those quarterback runs, and there was no one near him.
No, not even
Yeah,
close.
great job by the Eagles. They won that one.
They played that down.
Really well done.
Next one, Travis Kelce or Terry McLaurin, who had more receiving yards? Chris and I went with McLaurin. Tony said Travis Kelce. McLaurin had 51, and Travis Kelce, very quiet game. 2 catches, 19 yards.
Yes, but they covered him with 6 people the entire game.
They literally did.
And man-to-man on everyone else who was wide open. So it worked out fine for the Chiefs.
When you watch
He was a
Kelce
factor
run,
in the game. He was.
his routes. They don't look the crispiest because he's always looking for like the open spots.
Yeah.
And because there's not like a particular route, you kind of have to guard him with 6 people because he ends up in different spots all the time.
Yeah. He was a reason I thought why all those guys were
open.
the other guys were open.
A lot of attention. Decoy.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Get it? Get
Just
it?
like you.
Hilarious.
Taylor Swift song, Tony?
Yeah, no, I got it, Scrape.
It's always good when you have to explain your
I
jokes.
was trying to ignore it, but I got it.
Auburn minus 6.5 against Tennessee over the weekend. All 3 of us chose Tennessee, and Tennessee ended up winning. Wait.
Yes.
Auburn won, but only by a
Yeah,
couple.
they only won by 2, 53-51. I forgot to put the winner in that one. Final one, Sabalenka in the Australian Open, minus 4.5 against Madison Keys, the American. I was the only one to take Sabalenka, and Keys wins outright, so you guys win.
Congratulations to Madison Keys.
Awesome
29
work.
years old.
Yeah.
Is the second oldest ever to win your first major championship. I mean, that's old for a tennis player. But she deserved it. She played great.
Man, to be 29 again.
I know, isn't that funny?
Ain't that
29,
man.
you're almost over the hill.
I'm not that aged now, guys.
Good work.
29 would be so fun.
All right, I don't normally give the final results, but I will this week because Scraby was 10-8, Tony was 11-7, and I was 15-3 last week.
Oh, that's why he's giving.
That's why I'm giving the results. Yes. All right,
That's pretty ridiculous.
That was a good week.
15-3.
Yeah.
My lord.
All right, wiping the slate clean tonight. Lakers Hornets in Charlotte, 222 points, over or under. Tony, you feel defense tonight or the Lakers?
It's like, what's that, 110, 113?
Yeah, right around there. Under today. Scrape.
Over.
I'm gonna go over as well. I've watched the Hornets a couple times. They don't really care if you score. They just want the ball back. Lakers will be in the 120s, I say. Denver minus 9.5 at the Bulls. The Bulls are 8-16 at home. It's one of the worst road records I've ever heard of for any
Home records or road records?
home record.
Yeah.
They're 8-16. They're home tonight to Denver. 9.5 for Denver.
Give me the Nuggies.
Nuggies. I have no faith in the Bulls right now, so I'll take them anyway. Tony?
Bulls.
They'll
cover.
They'll cover. Clippers on the road at Phoenix. Clippers by 1.5. I know these are two of your favorite teams, Tony, but the Clippers have been also playing well, right? They beat the Bucks the other night.
Ever since
Kawhi's
Kawhi
been in the
has
lineup.
returned.
This guy is a winning player, right? If anybody isn't sure of that, he reminds us.
I don't know I can't remember the last time he was healthy and his team wasn't good.
Yeah.
The team he was on wasn't good.
Clippers are right now, even with the Lakers in the standings, both 7 games over 500. Phoenix is a couple of games behind that. I'm going to stick with the Clippers. I think they're hot right now on the road. Tony?
Phoenix.
Scraby?
I'll go Clippers.
Cade Cunningham for the improved Pistons. In fact, the Pistons are the number 6 team in the East right now.
Wow.
They're only 1 game over 500. The East is not very good. But they are the number 6 team right now, and Cade Cunningham is former number 1 overall pick. He's playing well. Does he score more points tonight in Cleveland, or does Jason Tatum score more points tonight for the Celtics against Houston? And I bring up Houston because they're number 2 in the West. Remember when Houston was like the worst team in the league a few years ago?
Yes.
They have really, surprisingly,
Ime Udoka's the coach, right?
climbed all the way up there.
They play with his spirit, too. I don't know if you remember Ime when he was a player. He was like the dude always mixing it up and playing a little physical. That's how that Rocket team play. And they're young and explosive.
Okay. Who do you want, Cunningham or Tatum? More points.
I like Cade Cunningham, man. This kid is a baller.
Cunningham, Scraby?
I'm going to go with Cunningham as well.
I am too. Udoka's not going to let Tatum hurt his former team. Real quick, college hoops, UCLA -1 at USC. Scraby? Got Mick Cronin.
Those bettors are delusional, or those odds makers.
Who are they delusional for?
I have no idea at USC if they're even good or not. You know what? I'll go with UCLA.
I'll take USC because I don't like Mick Cronin anymore. Tony?
UCLA.
And South Carolina women 11.5 at Tennessee. South Carolina women just continue to get it done. I'll take them even on the road. Tony?
Gamecocks.
Okay. Scrape?
You know, I almost said something.
I know. I'm glad you
didn't. I'm going to go with South Carolina.
Good call.
Same team for the folks who don't know. Same team.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry we went a minute or two over, Scrape. It's the first time we've done it in 3 shows.
So we got to go to 17 now?
No. We're just going to get
Give me
back
some
on track.
traffic.
From the 855, get
There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec'd out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So Chris says I can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Scrape. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
We are league 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off of birdie, and I just hit my defense. squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! Ah. We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after
It was a 5-footer.
after our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him. But we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but I can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You've hit some.
We are league 10 now, and it's getting really windy. It's actually kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I know we're in San Diego, but we're 3 under as a group. We just got off the birdie, and I just hit my defense. There's a squirrel. He wants to attack me. Squirrely! Ah. We just got our second birdie of the day thanks to this guy.
Yeah, a 4-footer after
It was a 5-footer.
after our pro drove it 300 to the front of the green and then chipped it within 5 feet.
Uh-oh.
Gravy, don't feed the animals.
Don't feed the animals. I do feed animals, but Chris made a birdie putt. Leaving the golf course. And we ended up shooting 63 once everything was accounted for, since it was a scramble and we had an SDSU golf player, Jack Townsend. He was with us and he did a lot for us. I think we shot 63 because of him. But we all had a good time. There's a Roadrunner. Meet me. He doesn't like me. I guess I wouldn't like me either if I was chasing me. As you can see, I'm all Aztec out here at the Aztec Baseball Tournament. It's the SDSU Baseball Alumni Tournament. Right now, we are 1 under in the scramble. And Chris is playing well, Tony's playing well. But our ringer, Jack Townsend, is playing really well. So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not used. All right, welcome back. 3:20 is the time. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt's Gravy, Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. Coming up, we'll talk plenty of Padres with you. The Padres Pen Pal segment is next. We will also discuss a little further there Ken Rosenthal's. Oh, is he on the list of people Padre fans hate?
Oh, yeah.
Where's he ranking these days?
I forgot about Ken. And
Ken has got to be way up at the top of that list right about now.
I don't think he's at the top right now.
Maybe not, but he's threatening.
He's definitely near the top.
He's near the top. But he's reporting that now Michael King's name is being mentioned in trade talks. That's fine. Look, Dylan Cease.
that's fine.
I mean, you got Cease, you got Arise, you got King. I mean, they're going to trade somebody, so somebody's going to get it right.
Yeah.
But whether or not, there's truth, we'll find out. Padre Pen Pals coming up. But as we stated earlier, it was a good weekend for San Diego State. Let's start with the ladies. Ladies first.
You want me to get your call, Chris?
Get the call ready. I don't get to call too many of these like this. You can hear the surprise in my voice because, honestly, the Aztecs are playing UNLV Saturday at home. The women's team was coming off a really not very impressive performance. The previous game, they lost to one of the bottom teams in the conference, San Jose State. And now UNLV had won 52 of its last 53 games. This is the same team that beat the Aztecs 100-49 last year in a game in Las Vegas. And San Diego State came up with a remarkable performance, but they still needed a last-second shot to win.
3.2, Sheffy with 2.2. Yes, good! The Aztecs have won it! Veronica Sheffy scores it at the buzzer!
And then they went crazy.
On a scale of 1 to 10, Tony, rate that radio
Well, it was
call.
a TV call, so let's be fair. I did not describe where she went. You could see what was happening, so I did not describe that she... It was an off-balance, pretty crazy-looking shot.
It was.
And somehow it found its way in, and the celebration ensued. So the Aztec women, good for them. Big win over at UNLV. That was Saturday afternoon. And there was a really good crowd, and everyone was excited. I thought some people even came running out of the crowd onto the court. Like, they didn't storm the court. Didn't have enough people to storm the court, but it was a good atmosphere. And then Saturday night, the Aztec men go into Reno.
Put a whooping on them.
Where they hardly ever win, if ever. And because remember, Reno's another altitude game. People don't think of it as altitude, but it's up there.
Yeah.
And they crushed them.
I mean, the Aztecs, despite the great start they have had, have really looked a lot like what everybody said they were going to look like at the start of the season.
What we should have expected.
Right. A young, at times inconsistent team that is immensely talented and can beat you, a team like this, by 19, and then can go down to the wire against a team like Air Force.
Right.
That to me says a lot about the youth that this team has and possesses.
Yeah, Wayne McKinney, who had the humongous, heroic game at Air Force, only played 17 minutes, 2 points against Nevada. But Magoon Gwath, who has, been in and out of, having big games and then disappearing, 7 for 7, 15 points, 13 rebounds. Now, he was dominant in the game. And Miles Bird bounced back with a better effort. I thought the thing that really was the difference in the game, Tony, they only fouled 18 times. And most of those fouls were late in the game.
Yep.
They never even got into the bonus, Nevada, in the first half. And if you've been watching the Aztecs lately, they usually have the other team in the bonus in like 5 minutes. So, it'll be interesting to talk to J.D. Luster about this, but trying to teach this team how to defend well without fouling.
Yeah, that's when they've lost, in each of the games they've lost, especially here recently, that has been a major factor, especially the one they almost lost against Air Force.
Yeah, too many
fouling and putting the team in the bonus and putting them on the free throw line has been to the detriment of the team. They stayed away from it, as you said, that last game.
Yeah, I think Nevada was the number one three-point shooting team in the conference. But not Saturday night. The Aztecs held them to 5 out of 26. And, therein lies the secret to holding a team like Nevada to 50 points and getting a nice win. The other good thing about this, they lost a lot of points or ranking points in the net because the Air Force game was so close. They got them all back with this game.
I was going to say, what does this win do for them?
It basically made up for the fact that they only beat Air Force by 1.
Yeah.
They're back into the 30s of the net rather than the high 40s, which had them squarely on the bubble. Look, they got to continue to play like they're on the bubble, if you ask me. Right? They can't afford to to let down at any time.
No.
This team is still, and I'm sure they are aware of it, because like you said, Tony, they're so young. They're not good enough where they can just roll the basketball out there and win the game.
No.
They have to do certain things in order to make it work.
And don't get me wrong, this has their shortcomings this year haven't been because I think they rolled the ball out and felt we're just going to win. It's just not recognizing the type of energy you got to start the game with. The smaller details.
You have to do it. You're right.
You got to do it every night. When you don't have a veteran team, I think that's why Dutch typically has had veteran teams, right? You know what's expected. You know how you have to come into the game. I think not fouling, that's a technique deal right there that they can fix. Obviously, they addressed it after that Air Force game. And it's something they'll have to continue to address. This is just the youth of this ball club. And, I think yesterday or the other night, that was a great step in the right direction again. And remember, you don't need them to be playing their best ball right now. We say this all the time about Aztec team.
February starts next week.
Right. You want them to start rounding into shape, starting in February. They're hitting their stride in March. That's ideally how we've seen the Aztecs have their most success.
Yeah. San Jose State comes in here tomorrow night. It's a Tuesday night game. And then Saturday evening, it'll be Wyoming. On paper, those are two games you should win because you're at home against teams that are lesser than you in the standings. But warning, you're too young to just go through the motions. So good job, though, by Dutch and those kids. Excellent game. 6-3 in the conference. Still a couple of games back in the loss column of Utah State and New Mexico. New Mexico won at UNLV to stay on top. The Mountain West, though, continues to just get completely overlooked in the rankings. They don't have anyone ranked in the Mountain West. I don't know. I'd like to see.
Are we surprised?
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
I know Duke's great. I'm sure they would win. I still want Duke to have to go to play one game in Laramie, and I want to see them, bus up to Laramie and get off the bus and be at 7,000 feet. I just want to see Duke have to do that once.
I feel like Duke would win by 90.
They wouldn't. I bet you anything they wouldn't win by 90.
Okay, well, 90. Okay. Yes, I will take you. You know what, Chris? I'm on your side of that bet.
But here's the thing, Scrape. You've not ever done it. And you run up and down that court one time, and it hits you, and you're like, wow.
That bear jumps
I was
on your
not
chest.
Ready.
The figurative air bear jumps
different.
on your chest. It's over.
It is something different. All right, Padre Pen Pals comes up next on Gwynn and Chris. Stick around.
Coming up.
For authentic Mediterranean cuisine in Coronado or La Jolla. For dining or takeout options, visit spiroscuisine.com. Padres Pen Pal coming our way here shortly. We'll try to get to some traffic when it's ready.
What do you think of the Ken Rosenthal report? Michael King being shopped now. The latest.
I'm not surprised. I said last week I thought he may have more value coming
than Dylan Cease.
Coming off the year, doesn't have as many innings on his arm, things of that nature. At this point, you know, a trade seemingly based on what we know and how we've seen these things kind of transpire, trades are really maybe the only
Seems
weapon.
almost automatic at this point that they're going to be dealing somebody big.
I mean, it may be the only tool that A.J. Preller has to his disposal right now until things get ironed out. So then you start looking at the value. So King, Cease, Arise. I don't want to lose any one of those three guys, but you may have to in order to kind of fill this roster a little bit more.
Suarez, maybe.
Suarez is another piece that could
Making
go.
$10 million this year, which is cheap for a closer.
Lot of questions, no doubt. Let's get to Pen Pal.
And then we'll get your traffic during Pen Pals. We're still trying to.
I said that. I set it up already, buddy.
It's time to ask the experts, Padres fans.
I was hoping maybe you can bring a little insight into it.
Write us, tweet us, Facebook us, send a carrier pigeon for Chris. He thinks they're cute. Padres Pen Pals begins.
Hurt the pelota big time.
Now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we haven't done this in a while, everyone. Padres Pen Pals. Things that were written to me or things that I've seen on the internet about the Padres here recently. And I bet you guys know what these are about. So let's just get right into it. And then we are going to, as Tony said, get traffic at some point here in Padres Pen Pals. But the first one is this. And Chris, you are up first.
Oh, good.
Is it just me? Or are the fans being completely forgotten in this whole thing? We finally get a good team with a future ahead, and then this lawsuit gets put in the way. I'm not on either side. I'm on the side of the fans. The fans deserve to see this vision Peter put forth. Seems like the vision is gone. I don't care who the control person of the team is. I care about the team operating as it was intended to operate. Chris, can we get anyone to notice?
Who was that signed by?
No name.
Was it lovingly Matt?
Oh no,
in Carlsbad?
No, it was really angry Jerry in Oceanside.
Sounded like Scrave to
lovingly
me.
Oh no, this was no. Usually
that wasn't from you.
I sneak one in of my own. But
I know you do.
That's not it.
All right. Well, unfortunately, look, in any divorce, right, the kids kind of have to just sway with the wind and go where they have to go. In any kind of argument like this, I think the fans similar. But if you listen to both sides, right, it seems pretty clear to me that both have gone out of their way to say that we are the side that is going to follow through on the vision of Peter Seidler. So your notion that seems far off honestly seems like it's the first thing on both sides' minds. So I don't know, in that regard, you have much to worry about. Wherever it goes, Peter Seidler's vision, I believe, is going to be carried out.
Tony, how can we get anyone to notice?
Notice that the fans don't care what side they pick. They just want to know how you keep Peter's vision.
Yeah.
I think that is very well known that the fans want Peter's vision to continue. We all want Peter's vision to continue. The question will be, can that be answered while the mess is out? And I don't think so. That's the tough part, right? Is, as Chris said, both sides seem to be presenting that they want to continue Peter's vision.
Legacy. Yeah, vision.
But there can be no machine to turn out that vision until the lines are drawn or set or whatever. Somebody has to be the one that's in charge. And right now, I don't think the organization has that based on the lawsuit that's been presented. I think as we know it, prior to the lawsuit, the Seidler brothers were going to be at the helm. Since the lawsuit, I think that is now paused.
Yes. Well said, both of you. All right, traffic, and then 3 more of those guys.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Couple of problems on the coastline, guys. One of them is a car hauler that is partially blocking the Cassidy Street on-ramp to southbound 5. Then got a car fire on the Carlsbad Village Drive off-ramp of southbound 5. It's out, but just watch out for a little activity around that. Also getting reports of a stall southbound side of the 805 before Telegraph Canyon, not showing if any lanes are blocked. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right. As you can tell, people are very frustrated. Fans
Rightfully
are frustrated.
So. We're with you.
Rightfully so.
Here we go. Once again, I am left to question why you guys don't see the writing on the wall. This team is about to be a 75-win team at best, and all of our hope for a championship has come to an end. I can't with the positive spinning y'all do. Tell me one reason why I should think this team is going to compete. Tell me one good reason I shouldn't cancel my tickets right now. This is pure anger at this point, and I can't see myself listening any longer. If you can't actually tell me why I should think this team will be a playoff team.
I think the problem is you
I'm
read
listening.
it with your voice, and so it sounds like something you would write. I don't know.
Were all the words there written in capital? I mean, you're doing service to whoever wrote this.
I just felt like that's how they said, once again, I am left to question. But Tony,
when I was in the school age where you got books read to you, always enjoyed the teacher that brought the book to life.
Sure.
Oh, you have to.
You definitely would be that teacher that brings the book to life.
Last week when I was hanging out with my niece, I read her a book, and I was the turtle, I was the cow, I was everybody.
It's very nice. I like that.
Yes. Tony, you're up.
Yes.
This person doesn't really have a question. They say, I'm listening.
Hey, right on, my man. I think, or my girl, one of the two. I think I don't know that it's positive spin that we're putting on it. I think we are just trying to present the case without being over dramatic, which a lot of y'all are out there, and just trying to read it for what it is. When ownership questions happen. It's just tough to do business. And so, I disagree with the 75 wins.
Seems a little low.
That seems a lot of low, and that's what I mean by overly dramatic.
The Doomers are out strong.
I think this team can compete. What is compete? I think they got a chance right now as they speak. They can compete for a wild card. But yeah, that's what I think right now. That's what it is.
Chris?
Yes.
What can you tell this person about their 75-win Padres that are about to happen in 2025?
Well, I'm going to go back to their question in the middle of that, which was, give me one good reason to believe that the Padres can compete.
Yeah.
I'll give you more than one. Got Fernando Tatis Jr. on my squad. I got Manny Machado on my squad. I got Jackson Merrill on my squad. I'll stop there, but I got a 3-time batting champ on my squad. I got 3 potential ace pitchers on my squad. I have an all-star closer on my team, and I have a guy who is normally in the running for manager of the year. I just gave you about 11 reasons.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I think I'll stop there.
Take that, person.
This whole notion that we're we're totally idiotic here.
Yeah.
We don't see what's going on. You're right. I don't. Then if what's going on is that the Padres are going to win 75 games, then you're right. I am not seeing that.
Right. 100%.
You're absolutely right. If you wrote that and you believe that we're so stupid we don't see the writing on the wall that this team is like a 70-win team, then you're right. We don't see that. They've got too many good players still.
Usually on the chat, we get a lot of people that are agreeing with us, saying that we need to be patient. Look what happened last year. But in my X feed, man, I got
X is
wild.
Rough. It's rough in the streets of X.
And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. All right, next one. Sorry, these are just all angry today.
That's all right. We expected it.
And Chris, you're up first. We expected it. You guys keep telling us that the team has its core roster signed and accounted for, but what you don't tell me is, what happens if those guys don't perform to where we think they should? Are we really just hoping and praying these guys do what they did last year? This year was supposed to be great. It's turning into a disaster. Chris.
Is there a question in there?
Yeah, are we really just hoping and praying these guys do what they did last
just
year?
Anger. That's all I got for you.
Again, see, you're gonna think that I'm being paid to say this. I'm certainly not.
I did pick up your check earlier.
I know. Okay. Try to keep that quiet. No, isn't every team hoping that the guys they have perform the way they expect them to?
I think so.
It's not just the Padres.
What?
But I think people are concerned.
You put a team together based on what you think guys are going to do. You can't tell me that the Orioles aren't hoping that, Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman and all these guys keep doing what they do. What do you mean? It's a really tough question to answer, taken on its surface.
What
it really is.
You were going to say what you think.
What I think that they're saying is no new additions.
Yeah, I get it.
So kind of what I said earlier.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So is it the idea that you have to add every offseason in order to be?
I think around these parts we have gotten used to that a little bit.
Okay,
Last year they brought in Michael King and new guys.
They also traded away Juan Soto in order to get
strangely,
those new guys.
I think people were happy about that.
Maybe so. But they didn't just come up with that. They had to give up a piece in order to get the piece.
The New York Mets did not give Soto $700 million because they're guaranteed he's going to do what he did next year. They're giving it to him because they're really hoping he will.
Right.
Every team's hoping that these guys are going to do what they do, but there's not a lot of reason to suggest that Manny Machado, Tatis, all these guys that I just named about 3 minutes ago are all going to fall off the face of the earth in terms of their baseball ability.
Could you read that last part of the question? Are you to tell us? Read that in your scravy voice again.
Are we really just hoping and praying these guys do what they did last year?
We are.
This year was supposed to be great. It's turning into a disaster.
Yeah, so the answer to the question, yes, we are. If he's talking
We're
about
always praying for that,
right?
I must say.
If he's talking about Manny and Toddy and certainly Jackson and the whole core that he was, yes.
Tyler Wade.
If they don't, but here's the deal. If they don't,
It's going to be a
they're
disaster.
not going to be good.
Expect that we won't be good.
They're not going to be good.
That is a fact.
They will not be good if those guys don't play well. Pretty much assured.
It's going to be a roller coaster. But we
Keep
can't
trying,
even use that word.
Scraby. Keep trying. You're trying to break us. Tony and I are standing tall.
10 toes.
That's funny. You know, Michael Irvin, who was going to make his appearance in the Big Five, said 10 toes.
10 toes down.
Is that another way of standing tall?
Standing
I
tall.
like it.
Planet.
10 toes down. Okay.
I don't know why this isn't being talked about, but what I hear is the two sides of the lawsuit want to continue Peter's vision. Wouldn't Peter want this all to be cleared up so they can go play baseball? Why is it they are not actually taking what Peter wanted into account here, Tony?
Wow.
It's a interesting question.
Very interesting question. I think, listen, the reality is in the way humans work, it's never that clean cut. Like, obviously, Peter would not want his two families to be fighting at all.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is kind of how these things work out when they don't see eye to eye without a presence of a Peter Seidler, you know? And so, I mean, are we here if Peter's still around? I don't think, absolutely not. But he's not. And this is an unintended consequence of that.
Maybe they think if I take over, I'm going to do a better job.
That's a great point,
going
Scraby.
with Peter's vision.
Both sides perhaps think that they are.
Well, they're both saying that.
Right.
Both saying exactly that.
Or both saying that they are trying to follow in one side's brother's footsteps and one side's husband's footsteps. Or wishes, I should say.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, yes, in a perfect world, they would look at each other and be like, you know what, we got to stop. But that's just not where we are.
I think the question really comes down to, you know, shouldn't two people that strongly believe in something stop believing what they think and just give up what they think for the betterment of the fans?
And to honor Peter is what I think.
Yeah, but that's not where it's at. That's just not...
It's not realistic.
Yeah, it's just not realistic. People don't do that. That's not how things work.
Guys, if I die...
What do you want?
What you got?
I better be in an urn behind Chris's left shoulder every single show from here on out.
You want to be in an urn over here?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Wait,
I think I'm going to be cremated.
Hang on, let me get the spot picked out. Is that it right there?
Well, it has to be on camera so that every once in a
see
while
you.
people will be like, did the urn move? Is that Scraby back there?
Who do you want to take over on the board for you? Frank Marchese, or do you have a desire there? Because I think this could happen any time now.
Okay, this is a weird knock on wood. I mean, any of us could go at any time.
That's right. I'm thinking, you know, hey, look, you know, can't take any chances.
I won't even put that in the universe.
Yeah, you should.
Knock on
Move
wood.
on.
I got a little scared. All right, that's it. But, like, okay, for this last question, since we have a couple minutes, when my grandpa passed away, his wishes for one thing, and I'm not going to reveal what that was, but even though that wasn't the choice of everyone, they went with it anyway, because that's what he wanted. And I know in a vacuum, that's how it works.
But don't both sides of this argument believe that that's what they're attempting to do?
I guess you're right. I guess you're right.
I mean, I have to read a little between the lines because I'm not there. But from what the comments that have been made, Jill Seidler says, hey, I am the person to continue his vision. The other side, Matt and the brothers and everybody say we are the people to continue his vision.
I think another thing
they're both saying that.
A little different about your grandfather in this situation, with all due respect.
Lots of money.
There's a
Major League Baseball team.
Did not own a team.
Right. That's a big piece there.
Yeah, you're right about that. They weren't splitting like $500 million.
Yeah, but it's a big, little different scenario.
Good
there.
point.
But nonetheless, Padres pen foul. Listen, I get it. I fully expected when you said PPP today. I was like, this is
what we're going to get.
This is definitely probably what we're going to get until there's some type of change, or until there's a move made that makes everybody feel a little bit better.
Do not attack the 20 toes. 10
10
for
of them
Tony
down.
and 10 for me.
Planet.
We cannot be budged.
What about my toes? Where are they at?
There, you float. You're a
Your
floater.
toes up.
You're floating.
That's why the urn's going to be behind me.
No one likes toes up, guy.
Rick Smith used to say that, the PR guy for the Chargers, who's, by the way, one of the all-time funniest guys ever. He was the... Did you guys... You wouldn't have known Rick. No way.
I don't remember him.
Yeah,
no.
but he was the media relations department. He's still around, so I don't mean it that way. But he was the media relations department head for the Chargers before Bill Johnston. He brought Bill in. And during the Fouts era, the Coryell era, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
And Rick Smith, one of the funniest guys I've ever come across. Absolutely hilarious. But if somebody did pass, it would sadly be that they had gone toes up. That's where I got that saying from.
Toes up.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead.
Jinx. Buy me a Coke. I was going to say something, and then I jinxed Tony, and then I forgot what I was going to say.
In other news,
That's great.
Jimmy Butler has been suspended a third time.
Should we just put this on tape so we don't have to keep saying
We
it?
might very well have to.
Yeah.
There is a standoff. Jimmy Butler, seems like he is pretty stubborn, versus Pat Riley, who we know is pretty stubborn. So we'll probably get
Jimmy just kind of makes it easy on Pat,
He is.
honestly.
I think
he
he's-
just doesn't go to practice.
he's
and,
calling-
what does he expect?
He's calling Pat's bluff, and Pat is answering every time he does.
Okay, you're suspended again. Great.
I kind of love this.
What does somebody like Jimmy Butler do? Do they just go home and like watch Sports Center? And I mean, do they?
No, he's
you
going
know,
to hit in the town, making sure
no.
everybody's taking pictures of
He
him.
went straight
I
to
don't know. What do
IG on this one, and I'll explain it on the other side when we coming back. Start of the 4 o'clock hour.
Got Chris versus the fans as well.
833-288-0973.
My little boys are growing up.
And away we go at 4 o'clock. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr., Matt Scraby. Super Bowl matchup is set. It's the Eagles and the Chiefs. 2 weeks away. Eagles got there with a 55-point performance.
Walloping.
Of the Commanders. Chiefs got there because the refs said so. According to Scraby, anyway.
Oh, okay. I like how Chris says it and then says it was me.
It was, we'll have the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It.
Good, the bad, the ugly from those two games yesterday. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, so plenty of football still ahead. Aztecs basketball, impressive wins over the weekend. The women knocked off UNLV, handing them just their second loss in 53 conference games. The men looked really good in a victory over Nevada in Reno on Saturday night. They must have enjoyed the accommodations, Scraby, at the Grand Sierra Hotel prior to the game.
Yes.
You said it was a fantastic
I told
place.
you it's a nice place. Sure, they were all comfortable.
I didn't say anything wrong.
You actually, when he said that, I can remember exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He said that you went right to online to pull up some pictures.
Yes.
And then you showed it to us as if we were going to be like, oh, yeah, it's not that great. And we were like, you know what, it doesn't look that bad.
Not too bad.
I guess I'm a little spoiled with my...
Yeah, you clearly
Yeah,
are.
what, are you used to staying in only 5-star hotels? Did I miss that memo?
The Ritz, yeah, right. I stayed in one of the grossest hotels imaginable.
I was gonna say, man,
like
you should be begging to stay at the Grand Sierra.
Remember that hotel out in Arizona? That
oh yeah, I didn't stay there with you, but I remember y'all talking about it.
Not good.
I think Woods had been.
It's the last time we're ever gonna let Adam reserve a room.
I don't think he's reserved it for you guys ever since.
Well, no, and that's Chris. We got to talk off the air because Lori might need to do our bidding for our hotels for spring training.
We'll leave it to Lori. You know you're gonna get a good deal there.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, JD Luster, Aztec men's basketball, be on in about 20 minutes. So we have to get to today's Chris versus the fans. 833-288-0973. There is a line or two open to play.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Honestly, I'm not sure if the phones are working.
Yeah, they might not be, honestly.
You got
Either that or
nobody?
no one's playing today.
That, yeah, or there's only one line that's working, or two lines that are working, but
today
if you have never played and you want to play, call right now, 833-288-0973.
Scraby can't afford to send your phone call to oblivion.
That's true.
Like he normally does.
And I will send it to oblivion.
He's a hater.
All right, Scraby, good job behind the scenes. Just fixed the phone lines, apparently.
Yes, go ahead, Chris, and read us the prize.
I can't wait, Scrabe. You will be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize. It's a trip to Las Vegas to see Scorpions on August the 14th. Yes, you'll be planning ahead. August the 14th, 9 months away.
Well, they had to change it because one of the Scorpions fell.
I understand.
I don't know if they actually fell.
The other good thing, though, you get a 2-night stay at Planet Hollywood and a $100 gas card. It's all yours if you win the grand prize this month. Scorpions returning with their 60 Years of the Scorpions Las Vegas residency show on August 14th through the 23rd at PH Live at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Tickets on sale now. Ticketmaster.com. Scraby, we need some rules so that we can keep anarchy from taking place.
Thank you. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, nice job. Let us know before you're going to owe me 2 Cokes.
I jinxed you that time.
You guys were you guys were so good. You didn't even realize I was biting my nail at the time.
No, I knew
you weren't
didn't get in on it.
I knew. I just didn't care.
Only 2 sultry voices right there.
Yes. First-time player, just let us know. You get the first question for free.
You've been especially mean to me today, and I just want people to understand this is why you get treated poorly.
You came in hot today. I was witness to it. When we walked in the door, your energy was just off towards Chris. It wasn't towards me. It was just Chris.
What?
Yeah.
I was very pleasant when I came in.
He was.
I don't know.
He wasn't grumpy or anything. You were just going at him.
All right, Weston is up first.
Hello, Weston. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
We are well. Here we go. First question.
Good. I'm a first-time player.
Oh,
first-time player! On to the second question.
Weston, we salute you. 2 questions away, Weston.
What does the rings in the Olympics represent?
I don't know.
You're playing the game. You're playing the game.
IDK.
Whoops.
I think it's each of the 5 continents.
I'm sorry, Weston.
That was a long, dramatic
wasn't
pause
sorry,
right there.
I thought I'd missed it. Weston, thank you. Sorry, buddy. Play again, though. Now that you're in, next time it may go your way.
I hate when people have their first time playing.
I know, and then they think they can't win, though, and that's just not true.
Yeah, you can win.
You can definitely win.
That was
this
a tough
game.
one.
Let's go to Mark.
Wasn't, but-
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Mark. Mark, you there?
Oh.
All right, we'll go
Mark's not
to
there.
someone else, and we'll come back to Mark. Let's go to Dan in Encinitas. Dan. Oh, my gosh.
Maybe the phones
There
are
we
a
go.
little
Dan, are you
crazy.
there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Hello,
all right.
Dan. How
Hello,
are you?
Dan. Good to have you aboard.
Doing well. Thank
Good.
you.
Very
All
good.
Here we go. First question. Let's go with an easy one. Who is Travis Kelce's girlfriend?
That would be Miss Swift.
Miss Swift, Taylor
Now-
Swift, indeed.
I have a question I got into with my friends over the weekend. When they do get married, because they are going to get married.
They're both going
They
to keep
seem
their
headed
names.
in that
I was going to
direction.
say,
They're
is
both keeping their
Travis
names.
changing his name to Swift?
They're both keeping their names.
Because Travis, in this room, might be the most famous, but everywhere else in the world,
He's
Taylor is.
only in this room. Is
Never
he the
heard of a
most
single
famous.
man who's changed his name to the lady's name. Has
Well,
that ever
you
happened?
should start looking, because it does happen.
I think
Does?
they'll both
Yes.
keep the. I think they'll both keep their names.
I actually know a guy from rehab way back in the day that took his wife's name because he hated his family, and so he wanted
Man.
nothing to do with his family's
Well,
name.
That's
I
rough.
don't get that feeling with Travis Kelce.
I don't think Travis hates his family. At
All
all.
right.
All right, we go. Next question.
Okay.
5. I repeat, 5 MLB franchises have never won a World Series. Name 3.
Only 3. Not bad. Never won a World Series.
Never won a World Series.
Gotcha.
San Diego Padres.
Okay.
Maybe.
Seattle Mariners.
Maybe.
Okay.
I said maybe. Don't give it to him.
And one more.
Yes, sir.
Give me a team.
Give me one.
National League
One
West.
more.
Scrabe.
I'm sorry, Dan. I had to.
That's cold.
Stay
but
there.
It's not you, Dan. It's the rest of the listeners that get mad if Scraby doesn't
Yes.
have a time
That was a
limit.
long clock, too.
It was. Padres and Mariners is correct. I'll put Rockies on there to wrap it up. But I don't know the other two, honestly, at the moment. I think Brewers and Rays, but I'm just guessing.
So Chris would have got every single one. Yeah. Sorry, Dan.
Sorry, Dan.
Have the Mariners haven't even been to a World Series,
No,
right?
they have not yet.
Are they the?
They're the only
They're
one.
the only one of the 5 that
They're the
haven't
only
been
ones that
to
have
a
never
World
been to
Series.
The
one.
Brew
Correct.
Crew have?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 1982, Robin Yount, Gorman Thomas, all those guys.
How could I forget?
The
Bambi's
original Brew
Bombers.
Crew. Yeah.
They were the original Brew Crew, that's right.
Man,
All right.
mad at myself for forgetting.
Our next contestant,
Mike in Mission Valley.
Mike in Mission Valley. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hello, Tony. Hello, Scraby, and hello to the ref apologist of the year.
Whoa, that was not nice. I don't think, was it? Was it nice?
Ref apologist. I mean,
Oh, I'm the ref apologist.
Yeah, you're the ref.
Oh, I see. Got it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Mike.
yeah.
Never mind.
Here we go. First question.
For the record, I hate umpires and I hate refs. So
There you
Well, then
go.
you don't like me, Mike.
much like most normal people, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I hear you.
Chris is the arbiter of our show, so
He is.
he has to be.
He's got to play the
in.
middle
Yes.
role.
Yes.
Here we go. First
He has
question.
to be the narc.
During which inning is "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" traditionally sung?
The middle of the 7th.
Nice. I was just going to say, are we going to just let him roll with the 7th?
Yeah.
He got it. He got the actual answer right anyway.
We don't get to the 14th anymore.
No,
They used to.
Guys, the Mariners lost to the Yankees apparently.
The year they won 114 games. That's true.
That wasn't in the
That's
World
not
Series.
in the World
Never
Series.
mind.
Those are both.
I was passing
those are
along
both
bad
American
information.
League. Those are both American League teams. There.
I was passing along bad information.
Here we go. Question number 2.
I love Scraby jumped in. Hey, wait a minute! The Seattle Mariners played the Yankees. You guys are wrong.
Don't you guys remember that classic AL World Series?
That's funny. Roberto Clemente tragically passed away in the offseason after achieving a major milestone for lifetime hits. What was the milestone?
He hit the nail on 3,000 hits.
Great
Nice job, Mike.
answer, Mike.
Final game of the regular season that
yes,
year.
he did. Here we go. Question number 3.
Great man.
Yep.
Ought to have his number retired.
Don't disagree.
Don't disagree at all.
Very good, Mike.
There have been 4 football players to have won the Heisman and Super Bowl MVP. I just need 2 of them.
John Elway.
Okay.
Shoot.
Give me another name.
Elway and God.
I'm sorry, Mike.
It might be better off for you not
true.
to guess the second one.
That's true.
No, I have this one. Sorry.
Never mind.
What? I don't
Sorry, Mike.
believe. I don't even know that Elway won the Heisman, so I don't know that one's right. I'm not going to guess him. Roger Staubach is one. Marcus Allen is another.
That's 2.
Here goes
Yeah, that's
show
all I
off,
need.
man.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Sorry, Mike. Good plan.
Was Elway right or not?
Elway was wrong.
Elway was wrong.
was
Yeah.
wrong.
He did not win a Heisman.
Yeah.
No, he.
Joe, let me see. How about Jim Plunkett?
Yeah.
Ding. Can you get the other one?
No, not right now.
Desmond Howard.
Oh, I would not have got that. Yeah,
That is
Desmond.
crazy.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
I think
Gotta go
we have
tiebreaker.
we have a guest. We need.
Let's
to...
go tiebreaker. Or
Okay.
should we just?
Well, let's just get this done.
Okay.
Let's just get this done. John Elway is our player today.
There it is.
All right, get a contestant.
All right, let's go to our phones. Sorry, everyone. We have JD Luster on the other side, so we are going to end this now. Let's go to Ryan. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, gentlemen.
Have you played the tiebreaker before?
I have.
Okay,
right, good.
perfect. So I'm going to ask Chris a question. He's going to give me a number, and Ryan's going to guess whether or not,
Let me
or
get
answer
my calculator out for
whether
for
or not the
Chris.
actual number is higher or lower.
Yeah, get my calculator. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, because I'm not very good at math. All right, Chris, how many yards did he throw for in his career? John Elway.
How many
16
years? 45,000 yards.
45,000. Ryan, is the actual answer higher or lower?
He's got to have gotten more than that. Higher.
Higher. That is correct. Nice job, Ryan. Stay right there.
Very good, Ryan.
51,475.
Didn't recall he was over the 50 mark. Very good.
Stay there, Ryan.
All right, we need a quick break. JD Luster, Aztec men's basketball off a big win next.
From the
Eating some water. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Zello, Matt Scravy.
A little full, Tony.
You know, all I can think of is a dog when you put the hose on, like eating the water as it's coming
That's
out.
right. That's what they do. It's a good description.
Hey, that's how I lost 40 pounds. I ate water.
Hey, listen, kudos to you, man. That's some hard work you put in.
Thank you.
Let's get to our phone lines. JD Luster joins us, Aztec assistant coach.
Even JD was ragging on Scravy. I love it.
JD called in. He had clearly heard it, too. He got a good laugh. JD, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Now I know why I haven't been able to lose weight. I ain't been eating enough water.
Certainly try it, because Scravy's having a ton of success
got all
doing
the
it.
secrets.
JD, you guys coming off a big win after a close one the game before. I mean, the thing that stood out to Chris and I watching this game was the Aztecs were able to play defense without fouling. How much of an emphasis has that been over the last couple games where that has been a little bit of an issue for this team?
You know, I think what you guys and everybody else has been able to see is just like it's the result of having a young team. And, you know, when you have a young team, you know, little things like making adjustments to the refs from game to game, you know, it takes time. It's a process. You know, and in this league, you know, we go like to the pit, and in the pit, it's a physical game. You know, we go in there and we drive, and it's a lot of contact, and they let us play through it. And in the next game, we may go to Air Force, and they don't allow you to play that physical. So being able to adjust on the fly from game to game is something that I think we're learning as a young team, and I think it's something that we got to continue to just keep improving on as the year goes on.
Yeah, well said, JD. I want to go back, you know, to the Air Force game for a minute and the last play. And how does that all come about? I mean, you know, there was a stoppage there because they had to review the previous play. So you guys had a few minutes. Does Coach Dutch go to each of you and ask for your suggestions? Is it a democracy there, or is it somebody saying, no, this is how we're going to play it? Take us through the few minutes leading up to the winning play.
I always make a joke and say Coach Dutcher is surgical with the clipboard. You know, so in that time, he kind of had that play in his back pocket, and you know, that's one of the things that made Coach Dutcher great is he allowed guys to play, but when it's time to grab the clipboard and draw up something when we need a bucket, he's also very elite at that, and that's something that he just drew up on the fly. You know, we work on game situations at practice, in the game situations, pardon me, but that play in particular is something that he drew up on the fly, and credit to our guys for being able to go out there and execute it.
JD Luster joins us here, Aztecs assistant. And JD, you talked about the youth of this team and those last two games kind of showing that youth. Just talk about kind of the process, because going into the season, I think everybody understood that this was a little bit different look for the Aztecs. It's a much younger team than we've had over the last few years. But they got off to such a great start that I think people may have forgotten that this was a young team. Just talk about kind of how this season has kind of materialized to this point with the young guys, and you guys aren't even fully healthy yet as a group.
Exactly. This puts it in perspective. Today, Magoon Guaf was Freshman of the Year in the conference, and this is the first time in Mountain West history a team has had three different freshmen become Freshman of the Week on the same team.
Yeah.
So Magoon Guaf has done it, Terrell Compton has done it, and Taj Deagerville has done it.
Yeah.
And as a staff, we look throughout out the conference, and there's only about 5 or 6 freshmen playing period in the whole conference.
Wow.
And we have 3 who gets a lot of minutes for us. And I think that's just a testament to our youth and how young we are. And I think some of our success early is because although we are young, we are talented.
Yeah.
But even with the talent, there's going to be valleys and peaks when you're this young. And I think we have seen that in conference. In our conference, I think the teams in our conference have built their programs on being old. And we've been old over the past few years, and I think a lot of that has to do with the portal. I think guys aren't really recruiting freshmen anymore because of the portal. And because of the portal, they're not able to get really good freshmen due to financial reasons. I think because we're San Diego State, because of the success we have had, we're able to still go get really good freshmen. Yeah. Now, will we be able to keep doing that? That all depends on NIL and how much money we're able to continue to raise for NIL. But I think all that plays a part in our season and kind of the inconsistency as far as, not inconsistency, but I think us being able to overachieve early.
Yeah.
Yeah, JD. Yeah, JD and Tony, I know, has done a great job contributing to the NIL, and he says he's got deep pockets. So have Dutcher give him a call.
Yeah, I appreciate that with him being an alum.
That's right.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Last thing, we got a couple of minutes left. I think the win in Air Force made you guys 36-4 in the last 40 games following a loss. What is the secret to that? And how have you continued to do that, again, with young guys that have to learn how to recover after losing?
I think part of it is just Dutch. I think Dutch is like, I wish you guys could see him behind the scenes on a day-to-day basis. More than anybody I've ever been around, he's never too high when things are going well, and he's never too low when things aren't going well. You get the same person every single day. And I think that consistency wears off on the staff, and it wears off on the players as well. And it's so easy to get up every single day, even after a loss, and get back to work when your leader, when your head coach is that way. And I think our team and the teams in the past have been a reflection of Dutch's personality as far as who he is as a person, who he is as a leader, and I would credit him to that success and that record of coming back after losses.
Now, you guys are wrapping up the first go-round of the Mountain West Conference schedule. You guys will start that second half after this week. Do things change when you are facing that second go-around? Obviously, you come out of preseason, you move into conference, especially with this ball club. You got to get used to the altitude. You got to kind of get used to your league. Now, the second time around, what changes in terms of the matchups that you guys face?
I think I always feel like this every time we go out to play since I've been in San Diego State. I think we are the best prepared team. We're more prepared than our opponents every single time we go out and play. Like, I think offensively and defensively, I think, again, Coach Dutcher and Coach Velasquez and our entire staff do a good job of putting our guys in the best positions to be successful. And I think after before you play a team, it's one thing to watch a team on film, and then it's another thing to see it in person.
Yeah.
So, you watch a team on film and you game plan and you prepare, and then you get out there and you're like, okay, that screen may be coming faster than I thought. Or, this guy is really good at ducking in, and it's easier said than done to get around this guy. So I believe, once we've seen you one time, I think the second time we're usually way better prepared, and I think we're in a much better position to make adjustments and put our guys in a position to be successful. So I'm confident when we play a team one time, but when we play a team two times, I think we're really good. And a lot of that is because Coach Dutcher's the best at, scouting. He's the best at, knowing what to take away from teams. And I think when you watch us play teams a second time, I think if you really pay attention, you'll see that.
Yeah. Well, JD, as always, man, appreciate you coming and spending some time with us. It's always fun to hear some of the voices on Dutch's staff. You're being one of them. Keep it rolling, moving forward, and we'll look to speak to you again.
Thanks, JD. Good update, man.
Yep, no problem, no problem. I'm looking forward to pregame in the middle of the month. Make sure we have a lot of different flavored water.
Make
You
sure
know what I
they
mean? So we can,
make sure they're eating it too. They can't drink it. They got to eat it.
oh yeah. They gotta chew it. I gotta chew it.
Thank you, JD.
Thank you, JD.
I love this guy. We didn't even have to pay him to do all of that stuff. That was great.
JD Luster, Aztecs assistant coach on the men's basketball team.
You know why? I'm not blaming it on JD, but when I was doing the spot, he called in, and I was like panicked. So I went to go put him on hold real quick, and so he heard me probably as soon as I put him on hold say, "Eat water."
Let's get to break.
That will make you lose weight.
Yeah, apparently so. We got a big five coming up next.
I don't know. I think the show is just, we might have to stop after that one.
Am I carrying this a couple more minutes?
No. We can go to break. We have a big five. Adam Schefter's facing criticism. The Mets have some new uniforms. Michael Irvin is mad. Tony Parker has some high expectations for Wemby. All of that.
More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
Gwenn's assistant and one of Tony and I's new favorite guys. Just obliterated you, Scraby, and he had the comedic talent to pile on. Well done by you, JD. Well done.
If you can deliver a diss at me and make me laugh, you're okay.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you dissed yourself, and then he just used it.
Yeah, true. Which is fine.
He used it very good.
As long as I laugh, we're okay.
Aztec men's basketball back in action tomorrow night against San Jose State. Pregame meal at about probably 3:30, I would say, 4 o'clock.
This is by far and away the least craziest thing I've ever said on this show, and you guys are running with it.
It's the but I don't think anyone's going to forget it. I don't think anyone's going to forget it.
I mean, Lucky does do that sometimes where he tries to eat the water.
Yeah, 4:38's the time. Good start to the Laker game, especially if you're Anthony Davis. Lakers lead by 20 at the end of the first quarter in Charlotte, and AD already has 21 points and 11 rebounds in the first quarter. He's on his way to an 84-44 game. That might be pretty good if he's able to do that.
That might
Tony.
be some type of record
That
right
would be
there.
good. So we'll keep an eye on that. And in the meantime, check traffic, then Big Five.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
We're getting reports of possibly two separate problems along eastbound King Freeway. One is a stall in one of the middle lanes right before the 15. Then just up ahead, a collision blocking the two right lanes. So yeah, expect traffic to be pretty slow for you heading out of downtown area, all due to those two incidents. Also a stalled vehicle blocking the right lane of the Carlsbad Village Drive off-ramp, North 5 Coastline. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're going to get into it with a pretty serious story. It's one we talked about, I don't know. When did this first happen, guys? Like a year or two ago?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm waiting on
I mean, you guys know.
Number 5.
University of Florida and the head coach.
This wasn't a year ago. This just popped up.
Honestly,
no, this story just popped up, but the allegations were a while back.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I thought you said you weren't going to put this in the Big Five. You called
This
an
dude
audible.
doesn't listen to anything we say in the break.
He definitely changed gears. He definitely.
All right, he said so.
He said he was going to bring it in.
Yeah, I try to tune you out whenever possible.
It's insane. I'm talking about show-related stuff. Granted, I do get that I talk a lot in the breaks about nonsense, so I understand.
You flood the zone. You flood the zone, and then he can't. He blocks
then
you
he
out.
tunes me out, and then it's over.
Oh my Lord!
All right, the University of Florida has cleared men's basketball coach Todd Golden following.
I thought you weren't going to talk about this.
Following if you guys aren't watching this on YouTube, you need to go to YouTube, search 97.3 The Fan. You'll see our broadcast because you'll see my face, and you can see that this is all real. It's not fake.
No, it's not.
Todd Golden, following a 4-month Title IX investigation, they have cleared him into allegations of sexual exploitation, sexual harassment, and stalking. School released a statement today saying no evidence was found and it ended its investigation. It comes amid number 5 Florida's best season in a decade, with the Gators winning 18 of their first 20 games. Golden previously sidestepped chances to deny the allegations, quote, out of the respect to the process, and threatened legal action, presumably against his accusers who weren't publicly named. He also recently ripped proceedings that are supposed to be confidential. The complaint against Golden accused him of sending photos and videos of his private parts, making unwanted sexual advances on Instagram as well. The Independent Florida Alligator... That's not paper, right?
A ledger. I wouldn't say alligator.
No, it says the Independent Florida Alligator.
All right. As opposed to crocodile.
But they're Florida Gators.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, now I'm
I'm way off.
The Independent Florida Alligator first reported the allegations in early November.
Oh,
Chris,
that's the name of the newspaper.
Yes. Chris, what should be the penalty for people who make this stuff up?
That's right. I'm glad that's where you went here. I mean, when I first read this stuff against Todd Golden, the coach of Florida, I thought, man, string him up and get him away from college coaching forever. And I thought it was even questionable that they allowed him to continue coaching during the investigation. But now you come out and find out that it was all basically made up. The person who ever put him in harm's way like this needs to face some serious consequences. I'm not a law guy, so I don't have the exact answer, but I would hope there has to be some
I don't think there's
accountability for this. Can you honestly just walk around and make any claim you want against somebody and it's completely wrong?
Shouldn't be allowed to. Chat, if you know.
There definitely is you definitely can get in trouble for
You
that.
can, but is it criminal or is it like
in some cases, I think it is criminal.
Okay. All right.
This one, I think, should be criminal.
Yeah.
I mean, you ruined a guy's reputation practically, or, in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Tony, what do you think? What should be the penalty? Or Chris, did you ever say what the penalty should be?
No, I just don't. I don't have enough law background to give a fair penalty, but I'd like to see something.
I don't know what the penalty should be either, but it's been interesting to see society kind of change how they react to these type of stories, right? I mean, there was a time where we weren't reacting to the stories. Then we shifted to the complete opposite, where
pitchforks.
It was just immediately, and now it seems like we're kind of finding some mid ground here. We see sometimes a school or a team will suspend or paid leave someone, and in this case, they allowed the
They
coach.
could have paid leave him for 3 months.
Right.
This went on.
Right.
And every time I saw him coach, it
You were
was
thinking
like
about
distasteful
it.
to me.
100%.
And he was
so,
out there.
To answer your question, there should be a penalty or some type of consequence to a false accusation.
And I don't think a slap on the wrist does it.
No, I don't think it does either.
Something to deter people from making these claims.
I mean,
I agree.
We saw that here in San Diego.
Because you don't even need
Yes, we
evidence to make a claim.
Right.
Because the police have to take these things seriously,
Right.
which they should. But yeah, we saw it in San Diego. Actually, someone on the chat said the same thing. Look at what happened to Matt Araiza.
Matt Araiza, I mean, shout out to Matt Araiza being a Super Bowl, an AFC champion now.
Yeah.
He's won a Super Bowl.
It wasn't that long ago he didn't have a job because of some accusations very similar to this.
He got on the right team. He was on the Bills before.
He made the right.
He made the right. I
Well,
mean,
he lost his job
he
with the
did.
Bills
He
because
did.
of the accusation.
And the Bills may have acted too quickly.
May have. Again, that speaks to where we were at that particular time. Teams, businesses, they weren't waiting around to see what the end result was.
Yeah,
you were
they were just-
accused.
yeah.
We know it's not worth our time.
The Me Too movement, which, don't get me wrong, if you did something wrong, you should be called out for it.
No, you're
but-
guilty until proven innocent.
Yes, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Got some more, Tony?
No. That's it.
One person who is not happy with the Cowboys hiring Brian Schottenheimer as their head coach is former Cowboy Michael Irvin. He had some things to say on his YouTube channel after learning the news. And guys, I didn't know Michael Irvin had a YouTube channel, but boy, oh boy, was it entertaining, because he talked about how he had the flu for the first 7 minutes of this video. But here is what he said about hiring Brian Schottenheimer.
We lost an opportunity here. I don't know what will happen with Coach Schottenheimer and the Dallas Cowboys, but Jerry's a shrewd businessman, and this opportunity, I'm shocked he did not see. I was pushing for Deion Sanders to be the next head coach, and I still stand 10 toes down on that push.
He went on to say...
10 toes down. That's going to be a new
10
favorite, man. That's
toes.
my new favorite. Never heard of it before today. Now I love it.
He went on to say there are 2 NFC East teams that were in the NFC Championship, and the Cowboys are not even close to being one of them, so that's why he thinks this is a big deal. LaMelo Ball heading to the locker room.
Did they kick him out of the game?
No, he rolled his ankle again.
Again. All right, so Tony, you're up first here.
Yes.
Do you think Dion would have turned this around?
No. I don't think their roster's very good, quite frankly. CeeDee Lamb, Micah Michael Parsons,
Dak.
Couple linemen.
This is not a team.
Trayvon Diggs.
This is not a team that, and he's going to be out for some time, right?
Mm-hmm.
This ain't a team that is knocking on the door. I know they won 12 wins, had 12 wins a couple seasons ago, twice, but I don't think this is a good team. In some ways, given the way Jerry Jones has operated, I understand this hire. Like, we're not going to be good. I can keep the Cowboys name up front because I'll be the center of attention. Keep the value high, at least, because I don't know if there's going to be good anytime soon. I mean, from what I understand, I think Dak is like a $90 million cap hit.
He's
something
massive.
crazy like that.
Well, he just got it too.
And I think it's like 130 when you add CD.
It's ridiculous.
So that means you're pretty much cuffed in terms of what you can do. He was never going to hire I know Michael wanted him to hire Deion. He was never going to hire Deion because Deion, say what you want, he's going to command a lot of attention. And I don't know from a discipline standpoint, he fits with Jerry. Jerry wants to do what Jerry wants to do, and rightfully so is his team. And I just didn't think that was ever going to work out.
Is Michael Irvin kind of telling us that Deion was interested in this job? Because wouldn't he call Deion and be like, hey, I really wanted you to be the coach?
I don't think he's telling. I think he's telling us that was his wish. This guy ended up with Brian Schottenheimer. Are you kidding me? Like, you could have had Deion if you wanted him.
I think it's a perfect hire.
No, I'm sure you
Because
do.
I'm an NFC fan. Chris, what do you think? Do you think Deion would have turned this around?
No. But everything else Tony said, one last thing to add to it. I think if Jerry Jones knows if he would have hired Deion, then when the Cowboys failed, they wouldn't have gone at Deion. They would have finally come at Jerry.
That's a good point.
Said if Deion can't do it, no one can do it. If Brian Schottenheimer fails, well, he's supposed to fail.
Right.
So that's why.
He's in a lose-lose situation. He's in a win situation.
No, I think Brian Schottenheimer, people expect him to fail.
Exactly, that's what
I'm
saying.
So if he doesn't fail, that'll be a big deal.
Okay. All right, you're right.
Number 3.
I mean, that's where, by the way, that is where the Cowboys are at now. I mean, when they hired Garrity back in the day, they weren't expected to fail at that point.
Oh, Jason Garrett.
Yeah, Garrett. Now we fast forward to now, that's what's on people's mind. Like, we are expecting the Cowboys now to fail.
It's kind of crazy. Former San Antonio Spurs legend Tony Parker was interviewed in France over the weekend because Wemby and the Spurs played over there. And here's what Tony Parker said about Wemby's expectations.
But if Victor wants to be considered as one of the best in the history, he's going to have to create, his own legacy, and that's, like you say, he's going to have to win multiple championships. Because in the Spurs, that's what we expect. We won a lot of championships in my era, and so he's going to have to do the same thing.
All right. I don't know how to ask this question, guys. But basically, what I want to ask is, like, if he doesn't win championships, is his career a failure for the Spurs? Chris?
No. Much like every other, and he's not a Hall of Famer yet, but there are many Hall of Famers whose careers are far from failures that ever won championships. So, and just because it doesn't, look, there's many guys that played for the Lakers that haven't won a championship. That's just because the Spurs doesn't change that.
That's true. I like that Tony Parker still thinks we care about the Spurs here in America. Tony, what do you think?
Just him and Michelle Beadle, the only people care about the Spurs.
No one cares right now.
What was the question?
The question, in a roundabout way, is if he doesn't win championships, is his time a failure?
No, not at all. I mean, listen, there are expectations as a Spur that Tony Parker highlighted, but in terms of his career, no, he won't be a non-success if he doesn't win a title there. He'll just be another player that couldn't quite get over the hump. It's not easy to, I know we talk about these championships like they just are easy to come by. They're not.
Oh, you're done.
Number 2.
ESPN's NFL insider Adam Schefter faced criticism Saturday for his report about the league possibly considering using replay assist when it comes to quarterback slides. Schefter wrote on X, quote, "For all those complaining that Patrick Mahomes gets too many calls, relief could soon could be on the way," end quote. Well, Chiefs fans did not like it, and they think Adam Schefter is disgusting. Some of these replies were a little over the top. Tony, my question is, if there is indeed a rule change, won't it unofficially be known as the Patrick Mahomes rule?
I mean, which is what Shefty was saying, basically.
So the Chiefs fans are getting upset about...
I mean, they had people like you coming up with these conspiracy theories, so they probably just taking that out on Shefty. You know, they are just another conspiracy guy. He's giving us these labels. That's what they're thinking. But but Shefty's not wrong in this particular case. If they are going back to look at slides in particular, and I know Patrick isn't the only one, but he's the most popular one. Therefore, everybody's watching that particular one. So, yes, I think it's warranted for... I don't think it'll be labeled like that in the NFL rule book, the Patrick Mahomes rule.
Yes, it will. In our book, it will.
But we will call it the Mahomes rule.
The people on the outside will definitely call it that.
Just like people shame Buster Posey for splitting his leg in half. It's the Buster Posey rule, right? You can't collide with the catcher anymore?
He didn't know how to block the plate correctly.
Okay. Chris.
100%.
Unofficially known as the Patrick Mahomes rule.
Yeah, how else are we going to know what it is? That's what it's got to be called.
The slide rule ain't going to work.
No.
Number 1.
All right, we're getting to alternate uniform debut season, and the Mets have introduced one of their new options.
Accidentally.
Really? Accidentally?
Yeah,
I didn't know
leaked.
that.
Yeah, it got leaked out there.
So they just went for it.
I guess so. Somebody did.
They put Lindor on their Twitter in the new stuff.
That was after. It leaked before the actual stuff came out.
So I just put it up on our YouTube screen. But fans, I think they have mixed feelings, but I think overall the Mets fans like them. The question I was seeing in the comments wasn't whether or not you like them, Chris. It was, what should the pants be like? Because they didn't show the pants. So what it is, it's a blue jersey.
I see it. I'm looking at it.
I'm telling everybody else. With New York across the chest, and it's kind of like in pipe.
Yeah, I think they can wear either the gray Met road pants, or they can even wear the white pinstripe pants at home.
What about
it
black?
Works either way. No, that would be a softball uniform.
I knew Chris
and I don't
was going
like
to
those.
say that. What do you think, Tony?
They got options. They can wear their white with the piping down the side. They can wear the white with the blue pinstripes. And if they want to wear it on the road, they can wear it with the gray.
Right.
With the piping.
And how long until we start leaking out wrong versions of the Padres New City Connects?
It's got to come
tomorrow.
We got to wait, get a little closer.
I didn't expect for.
Do you guys? By the way, do you guys remember the fake ones that were popping up?
Quite a bit. I do. Quite a few of them.
I do. I didn't expect for so many fans to be
excited,
cheering in the streets that the City Connects are going away.
I think a lot of people have felt like it's ran its course.
Maybe. All right, more Gwynn and Chris. We'll recap on the other side. 97.3 The Fan. Hey.
Tony's not going to be happy if this Charlotte comeback continues.
Oh,
it's happening over here.
I never got my hopes up. I kind of sensed it happening. Tends to happen quite a bit.
20-point lead has been cut in half by the Hornets.
Silly Hornets.
Silly Hornets.
Tricks
AD
are for
at
kids.
AD at 21 and 11 in the first
What does
quarter.
he have in the second?
0 and 0. Yeah, nothing. Come on.
I don't even know what to say to that.
I know. Get with it.
Get with it. Did I tell you that the Raiders have a new coach? Did we go over that? I don't think we did.
We didn't, no.
Pete Carroll.
Oh, Pete Carroll, yeah.
Is the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders.
He says he's thrilled.
I mean, I don't know that he's ever used a different word than thrilled.
Yeah, he's working with GM John Spytek. After somebody explained to Pete Carroll who that was, Pete Carroll said, "Oh yes, I'm thrilled to be working with him."
Oh man, I think it's a perfect mesh opportunity. He says, for us to show how important it is for the relationship, but to be at the tip of the spear for our program. Now, one of his former players showed up at his press conference.
Who?
Could you guess who it was?
Pete Carroll's former
Russell
players.
Wilson. They're best friends.
Now, Russell didn't make it back from Pittsburgh. All right, he didn't make it up to Las Vegas from San Diego.
Yeah.
I know the answer, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah,
Richard Sherman?
No, it wasn't
there you
Richard.
go.
Richard's probably mad at him still a little bit too.
Earl
Although
Thomas?
I did say, I did see that Richard wished him best of luck in the new job. It was actually Marshawn Lynch, the guy he didn't hand the ball to.
Yeah.
He showed up and
He did give it to him on the Beastquake run, though.
he did. he did.
Did Pete Stoyanovich show up?
Peja? What?
No.
Pete Stoyanovich.
Oh, the kicker?
Yes, the old Dolphin kicker. You know, I carried this with me for the rest of time.
Wait, what?
It's a time that Stoyanovich, late in a football game for the Dolphins, missed a tying extra point. And Pete Carroll gave him the choke sign.
Oh, I see.
And that's
I
so
was a
long
kid.
ago. I'm the only one who remembers it.
The
because
funny
it
thing
pissed
is,
me off forever. And every time I see Pete Carroll,
I was a kid.
You
I don't
remember this, Gwynn?
I remember him giving the sign.
He did, yeah.
The choke sign. I remember them covering it on SportsCenter.
Yep.
I could not picture the team that he was
It was
playing
against the Dolphins. That's why I've always.
This
had
is when
a
he's
little-
with the Jets.
He was with the Jets defensive
That's
coordinator.
right. That's right.
And then the Dolphins got the onside kick and won the game on a field goal.
I remember
so Pete
that.
Carroll had the ultimate.
That's why they were showing it on SportsCenter
Right.
so much.
Yeah, but no, I've kind of finally given a. I don't
gotten over it
a little bit. Not you can tell I still harbor some.
Yeah,
ill
no,
will.
you could tell by the tone in
I know. It was in the
your-
early '80s, so it's over 40 years ago, 35 years ago. It was in the 90s.
New
I
York-
love kickers. It was in the 90s. It's in the 90s. Anyway, long time ago.
New York Jets obviously have a new head coach in Aaron Glenn. I think Chris really disputed that hiring at a.
No, he might do well. But I mean, it was a long. His lasting impression was not a good one.
His last two games, they did not have the best defensive performance. Nonetheless, he's leaving the door open for Aaron Rodgers. A new approach, as he said. This thing is not about Aaron Rodgers, folks. This is about the roster, Glenn told reporters after his news conference. We plan on building the best roster that we can. So whatever that may be, guard, tackle, defensive tackle, that's what we're evaluating. Listen, everybody's under the microscope. That's just what it is. It's a new day on One Jets Drive.
I think that I still am weird, but maybe I think Aaron Rodgers could still play. He just has to have a better team. He's got to have a better team.
I think Aaron needs structure. Whether Aaron understands it or not, maybe a whole different question. But
I mean, the last game against Miami, he tore them up. Now, Miami might have kind of given up because they were basically out of the playoffs there. But I think Aaron Rodgers can still throw the football, and I know he's got two good wide receivers. I don't think he had the offensive setup. And
what are you talking about? He had his coaches.
He
handpicked them.
He was wrong because Nathaniel Hackett is just a bozo. I don't know. The Jets looked like they were dysfunctional this year.
He went on to say, Glenn said that he had exchanged texts with Rodgers and that he hopes to speak with him soon. Other than that, the newly hired coach declined to get into much detail about Rodgers. Glenn shut down questions from reporters the way he once handled wide receivers as a cornerback for the Jets in 1994 to 2001.
Man. Whoever wrote that was like, this is going to be the greatest line I've ever done.
It's actually a pretty good line.
We're still in the evaluation mode, so for anybody else who's going to ask that, I'm going to give you the same answer Glenn said, so don't waste your time. We clear?
Hey, you got to take control. That situation is a disaster, so I like it as what he's trying to do.
And I think especially in that media market, if you don't,
so you leave it open.
They'll eat you alive.
Yeah, good for him. That's a good start for him.
Do you think that Aaron Rodgers is actually going to listen to Aaron Glenn?
I don't think he's going to have much. I don't think he's going to have as
Aaron
much.
Rodgers really wants to listen to anybody, but yeah,
I don't think he's going to have as much leverage as he's had prior to these last couple of seasons.
Who was the last? Well, who got fired? Saleh.
Saleh got.
Yeah, so I think he was given Rodgers and basically said, you can't tell him anything.
Yeah, make it work.
And that just didn't work. So I think this time, Aaron Glenn probably took the job and said, I got to have a little control here.
You got to have a lot of control.
Well, at least that.
You already are going to be battling your owner at some point, I'm sure,
right.
in Woody Johnson. I mean, you can't have a fight on two fronts, in front and back. Like, you got to have one side at least locked down. And so, at least on the player side, he seems to be trying to set the right tone. We'll see how that goes. In terms of the Pittsburgh Steelers and their quarterback situation.
Michael Valenzuela's ears just perked up.
Did they make a change of coach?
No, they did not. They were never going to do that. That was just the fans wanting
their
it.
Problem.
Yeah, no.
What did he say? Save your time? Mike Tomlin.
Save your time, Scraby. Steelers owner and president Art Rudy II said securing a quarterback is the team's priority. And it is his preference to sign either Josh Fields or
Justin Fields.
Excuse me.
He knows what Josh Fields are.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
I'm sorry. Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. So they're not. He said it's very unlikely that they keep both. So one of those two is going to get the nod.
I think we know who it's going to be.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Russell.
I do too.
He was the guy who started last year.
And not only that, I don't know. Based on the fact that Justin Fields never surpassed Russell this year, that would lead me to believe that they didn't see enough in between that time to feel good about moving forward with him if they're not going to keep
Remember
both.
when they benched him? He said, I didn't play good
He
enough.
said that.
Yeah, he did.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Even though they started 4-2, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. They started 10-3. I know that. Didn't win another game.
They went down to what.
Proverbial porcelain fixture.
The bidet.
The proverbial, huh?
Yeah, it didn't go too well.
What else we got going?
Well, that's good NFL stuff, Tony. I mean, the thing to me about let's go back to the championship game, unless you have something you wanted to
The championship game you're talking about, Chiefs.
Both
Bill?
of them. There was a couple things that bothered me yesterday.
I got one thing on that
give me
too.
the other. Go ahead.
Well, the other thing is, I don't understand the kind of, I don't know if backlash is the right word, but the tight end Kincaid on that Hail Mary throw,
right,
where he's diving for a duck basically to make the play. He doesn't make the play.
Oh yeah, Josh Allen just threw it.
I've
up there.
seen a lot of people like all over Kincaid, like
they haven't seen the angle where he was running to his right, had to stop and dive back to his left.
It was not. If he made the play,
it would have been awesome.
I know we would have probably given all the credit to Josh Allen,
right?
But that would have been an amazing catch.
Answer me this. Yes, it would have been. It would have been incredible. We would be talking
He's
about
not
it years and years and years
100%,
from now.
100%.
Answer me this. Why can't the Buffalo Bills offense block anyone? Everybody knew that they were going to bring the house. They were going to blitz everyone on fourth down.
It was a great call. They had brought the cornerback for 2 games.
Yeah, it was disguised.
They weren't looking for him to rush.
I actually didn't notice it was the cornerback that came until they showed the replay.
Yeah.
He's playing bump and run man to man.
And he just left his man and came right on
in.
And
it was funny. It's just sometimes it's just a slight look away. And Josh Allen right as the cornerback took a step with his right foot like he was coming, Josh Allen turned his head the opposite way to tell whoever was in motion to come. So if he's facing forward, he likely sees that and is able to either get out the play, but he didn't see it because right as the corner took that step to his right, he turned his head to bring the guy in motion. So when he snapped it, he had no idea that blitz was coming from that side.
I guess I didn't see all that, which makes sense.
Yeah, we'll try to look at that before you come next time.
I was just thinking, as I'm waiting for this play to happen, I'm thinking he's going to be blitzed from every angle.
There was
they
no
have
question.
to know about this.
At that point, if you didn't blitz him, it was stupid because he was
picking
that team apart.
All right, here's real quick for me, my anguish yesterday. And I bet you everybody else who roots for crappy teams like the Dolphins, like I do, has a similar anguish. How come in 2 years as the Miami Dolphin coordinator, Vic Fangio couldn't record a single tackle with his defense? How come his defense didn't force a single punt in 2 straight years that I remember? And now he's a genius and he's going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I can't stand when that happens.
He also went to the Super Bowl with 49ers.
Right, before he was with the Dolphins. So I think that says something about the Dolphins, does it not? And Matt Collins is the other one.
Oh, he had some
The
great
Dolphins
catches.
would love to have a third receiver. Well, they had him for 2 seasons, and they didn't utilize him. And guess who utilizes him pretty well right now? So I'm not alone there.
No.
But I hate when my team can't use guys and then they go elsewhere and they're just great.
I mean, listen, was it Spagnoli?
No, that's what I had for breakfast.
Spagnola.
Yeah.
I remember when he was once not considered the Hall of Famer that he is considered now.
Oh gosh, no! When he was the head coach of the Rams.
Oh my gosh, you had
was
that.
it the Rams? I think it was the Rams.
You had Andy Reid, who was kind of the butt
Andy
of
Reid
jokes.
was the dumbest coach
he was
of all
the butt
time.
of jokes.
He lost 3 straight conference championship games, and then the next year a Super Bowl.
I think it's
he was never going to win the big one.
I think that it's a testament to the fact that these guys can all improve now. Yours is a little bit different. He was good before he got to the Miami Dolphins.
Well, and the funny thing is they ran him out. You know why? Because he was too stern. He was too tough on those guys. They didn't like him.
Oh, my God.
How about that?
No, but that's
Look,
true.
a little
That
discipline.
tells you why the Dolphins are what they are.
A little discipline never hurts. All right, let's
Man,
get to
I
break.
didn't know NFL teams had like participation trophies handed out throughout the locker room.
Yeah, you learn something new every day, buddy.
All right.
More Gwynn and Chris on the other side of some traffic.
From the 855.
Congratulations to our old San Diego friend here. I know you know him well, Tony. Adam Jones, former All-Star
Shout out
outfielder.
to my man, AJ.
Yeah, working as a special advisor now to the general manager of the Orioles. So good for you. Adam Jones, good luck on that.
I sent AJ a text.
I'd like to have him on the show again someday here.
Well, now he's working for a team. It just got harder now.
Well, he was on the morning show all the time. He left us high and dry.
Well, they kind of asked him before we did. So
so it was a producer thing where their producer
You
did
ran right into that.
No,
dude.
because
you literally ran into that.
This is not for the air.
All right.
It has nothing to do with the morning show. It has to do with us here on this show.
Never mind. Adam, congratulations to you out
Just
there.
walked right into that. It's great.
This
is a producer thing. You're right.
We
You're
all
right.
know Paul is the better producer, okay?
Hey, you said it.
I would have never said that until now.
I mean, I don't know how Paul does it.
It's amazing.
Would have never thought that. Lakers lead by 8 at halftime after once being ahead by 20. Keep an eye on that. Anthony Davis had 21 in the first quarter, 2 in the second quarter. We got Aztec basketball. Actually, some tickets we're going to give away to Aztec basketball fans. Stick around for that. And at the bottom of the hour, or am I supposed to remind everybody?
Yeah.
We'll have our first name announced for the biggest fan. So if you listen for your name, if you're in that particular contest, first name coming out of the hopper here in about 5 minutes. You wanted to talk about Charlie.
Yes, Charlie
Our
Hoffman.
guy Charlie yesterday or over the weekend in the
Farmers. The Farmers.
Yes.
Yeah, so Charlie had a really good showing at the American Express where he finished top 5, and he finished top 25 here at the Farmers. But what I wanted to say was how great he played, because on Wednesday he shot a 70, but the hardest day for the South Course was by far and away Thursday. I keep getting confused with the days. Thursday
or Friday?
Thursday.
Okay.
The second round, because of all the wind.
That
and
was
that's
the
when
crazy
they stopped
wind
it.
day. They stopped the tournament for 2 hours.
The course average that day was 75. Charlie shot 75. So he went through that round and shot basically even par. If the field's shooting 75, then that's par. But then over the weekend, he was 1 under for the weekend, and he finished it even, top 25. But Charlie Hoffman plays some great golf to start the year.
Charlie is, look, I think there was nothing more that I would personally like to see since he's a friend of our show. But it's also because he's close to my age. If he could win one of these things, it would be incredible. And everybody on the tour thinks that, too. Like they were saying after he was leading was it the American Express after the second round last weekend, and he said people kept coming up and said, wait, you're 48 years old. You're not supposed to be out here with us. And he was winning the tournament. Charlie's done an amazing, had a really nice run here.
Yeah.
And
48 years old, so still keeping up.
Now, when maybe you know this, Grabe, or we'll have to ask Charlie next time, but when you get 50, you don't have to go on the seniors tour, do you?
No.
I mean, you can.
You can't. Well, I think it might be 55. Let me see.
I thought it used to be 50.
Maybe it's 50.
Anyway, Harris English was the winner of the tournament, if you're not.
No, you're right, 50.
50. So Charlie's got a couple years left. Then he can go to seniors. But if he plays like he's playing now when he's 50, he may dominate the seniors tour.
I don't think he's going to. I'm not speaking for Charlie.
Sounds like you're about to.
Go ahead.
I'm going to speak for Charlie.
Anyway.
He's playing good enough golf that he doesn't need to go to the senior tour.
I will say I don't think it's by chance as Charlie has seemingly, and he's talked about it with us, figured out his body and getting it
That's
in
true.
the
It's
right
gotta stay
spot.
healthy. It sounds like he
plays
could
good golf when he's
healthy enough
when he's
to do
healthy.
it. Yeah, he sounds like his back is kind of one of those when he stands up out of a chair. He's got to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I do. I have to feel that all the time. At the same time, Charlie made.
It's time out. It's so funny you said that.
I mean,
as you start getting older, you
can't just
I've done this
pop up.
Like there's a couple times where I've gotten up too quick.
Yeah.
And that back, the lower back will
remind you.
Will grab you, and then you're like, all right, let's check this left side. All right, good. Right side. All right, we're good. Let's go.
One last thing.
I mean, I strained a muscle patting myself on the back last week.
That's right. Whatever happened to that broken rib you said you had?
No, it's feeling a lot better.
Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
By the way, last Charlie Hoffman win was in 2016. So
yeah, it would be something if he could pull it off again. He did win. Not to out you, Charlie, but nice weekend's work. $74,000.
Oh yeah,
this weekend.
You're not outing him. That's public knowledge.
I'm just saying, but not everybody looks it up. I did.
No, I do love looking up the different payouts.
Good job for you, Charlie. Good weekend, my friend. All right. Anything we want to get to here that we haven't quite? We got our good, bad, and ugly from the AFC and NFC championship games coming up.
We talked about
I think we've
the
hit
Padres
pretty much
stuff
everything here. Yeah, we've had a
and
good day.
I'll be talking about that on the Scraby Show. I also have audio, I think, from the game last night, and I'm going to play that for you guys later.
From the Chiefs-Bills game.
Can't wait.
Oh, that's right. You unearthed a secret audio.
I found it.
Between, all right, well, we
Cleet Blakeman and Roger Goodell.
Direct.
You found this, of all people.
Goodell had a direct line to the official, is what you're saying.
Yeah, you know when they put on their headsets on the replay machine?
He wasn't talking to a replay official. He was actually talking to Goodell.
Correct.
And you unearthed this tape.
Yes, I did.
I can't wait to hear
Can't
this.
wait to hear that.
This is going to be special.
This
I
will
have
be another
feeling.
classic.
You know, this is going to put me on the map, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, when this goes viral. When it goes viral.
You can already see the nervousness kick in when you say viral.
Yeah, now I'm like, because I know what happens when you go viral. Everybody looks through every aspect of your life.
Yes, they do, sir.
And although a lot of my stuff in my past is not a secret, I don't know what people are going to unearth, and I don't want it to happen.
There's still some things you've done that you don't remember.
That's 100%
So that's
true.
one of the things to be nervous about.
That's 100% true.
That
Chris.
is a tough position to be in as you get ready to go viral with this unearthed video. Or no, excuse me. Audio.
It's coming up in the next segment. Don't miss it. Also, remember, don't go anywhere. Here at the bottom of the hour, we're going to announce today's biggest fan. Before that, though, Aztec fans, chance for you to go to the game tomorrow night. See San Diego State host San Jose State at Viejas Arena. Scrape, do you have a start time on that game? Handy?
7. It changed it.
Yeah, they changed it.
It was 8 o'clock. I believe it's 7:40 now.
I have this in
Let's
my
make
email
sure
somewhere.
so we know. But while they're looking that up, here's your trivia question. 833-288-0973. First person with the correct answer will win the tickets tomorrow night. Last year, Jaden Ledee led the Aztecs to the Sweet 16. Who was the second leading scorer on last year's team for San Diego State?
The game is at 7:40.
All right, tomorrow
Tuesday,
night.
yes.
Tomorrow night, 7:40.
Originally scheduled at 8, now it's scheduled
Moved
at
up a little
7:40.
bit.
Yes.
All right, because of TV. 7:40 tomorrow night. 2 tickets if you are the first to answer the question, who was the second leading scorer behind Jaden Ledee last year? Dial in 833-288-0973. And then Scraby's unearthed audio on the other side.
No, wait, no, that's Scraby Show stuff.
Oh, I thought you were going to play it for us.
All right,
No,
fine.
you can't play it for us if it's for the scrape.
No, we'll talk on the break, but we just got to
I
talk
thought
for
that's
another
what you were
minute
saying.
until we give away the name at this point. I'm going to have to talk to Adam about our timing.
Wait a second now. I thought we were supposed to get out at a certain time.
Yes, this is the problem, is that we're
But
supposed
we-
to be out by 28, but we
we-
have to announce at 30.
Oh, we have to. I
Yeah.
thought you said we would announce. We announced earlier that as soon as we came back from break, we would announce.
Yeah, I don't know that that's how it works.
Okay, so we got
I
to
think
do it at
because
30.
we said 5:30, we got to do 5:30.
As a professional in this business, it takes a long time to learn how to get out on time. And when I nail it, and then you change the goalpost on me,
moving them,
move the goalpost.
I told you, I'm going to talk with the boss man. We're going to figure this out because this is going to be. Tony is a goalpost moving, and the camera is following him right now.
I can't see the goalpost over there.
I can't see it. Can't see that goalpost.
Way off in the distance. All right, we got 5,
4,
3, 2, 1.
We're counting too fast. 1, 0. Go ahead, Chris.
What am I doing?
You're giving away the name.
Oh, I announced the name?
Yes.
Of the biggest fan?
Congratulations to today's biggest fan.
I thought it was something. Oh.
Derek Alcorta.
I am so.
Of San Diego.
Of San Diego.
I thought it was something that was actually done in the break.
Give us a call, Derek.
Yes, give us
within
a
the
call.
next 10 minutes. 833-288-0973. You have a chance to qualify for our grand prize: 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padre game later this season. Remember to register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest-fans. Let's get the break.
Ben and Woods on the Fan.
Coming up.
Last segment of the show. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby. A GBU is on the way. Playoff edition.
Our guy Derek called in.
Derek
We're
Alcorta?
1-for-1 with the biggest fan.
Way to go,
Scraby
Derek.
tried to blow it. He hung up on him.
That's not true. That's not true. I saw Derek and I freaked out. I was like, he called. Oh, no, he hung up.
I'm joking. He didn't hang up. He didn't try to hang
So,
up.
Derek, you're qualified for the 20 tickets to the Padres suite. Good luck to you. Thanks for calling in. We'll have another winner tomorrow.
Wow, I'm just looking at the sheet. All 3 of our callers called in today.
3 for 3.
Daniel also was a winner in the Aztec Trivia tickets. Reese Waters was the second leading scorer last year. It was a surprise to me. I thought it would be Lamont Butler or Darion Trammell, but it was actually Reese Waters, and Daniel knew that.
Yes, he did.
Very good.
First call, too.
All right, let's get to the NFC Championship game first in GBU.
And traffic.
After traffic.
Protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Hasn't been too bad on the roads, guys. We have one problem, though. Northbound side of the 805 before Plaza Boulevard reports of a stalled car in the HOV lane. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, here we go. Good, bad, ugly. And we will start with the NFC Championship game. The Washington Commanders, the Philadelphia Eagles. Good. I went with Jalen Hurts. I mean, it was easy to go with Barkley, too. But I had to give it to Jalen Hurts. The guy ran for 3 touchdowns. He had a 4th called back. He also threw a touchdown. But I thought the biggest play of the game, Tony, was that 4th down pass that he dropped into the arms of A.J. Brown. If that misses, Washington gets the ball at midfield, trailing by 2 points. And it could have changed some things. I just thought that was so big. And as it turned out, the injury knee report thing was a fugazi. Either that or he just played right on through it. Either way, it was impressive.
Is there a highlight coming up? No.
Not yet.
I thought he was as important to that win as anybody. I know Saquon gets all of the flashing lights and all of that, and rightfully so. But they had to account for what Jalen Hurts was doing with his arm and his legs as well. So it made them pretty much unstoppable offensively, and then you throw in the 4 turnovers, or defense was able to create lights out.
And maybe the lights should have just gone out on the first play of the game anyway.
Hurts under center on first down. He pitches it out to Barkley. Takes off to the outside. He's at the 50. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Saquon Barkley, 60 yards on his opening touch.
He touched it, and he took it to the house. It's as simple as that.
Did he say touch?
I think it was a touch.
Touch.
It was a touch. But, yeah, I mean, come on. When you're the Commanders, you know Barkley's getting the ball. In the first play, they pitch it to him, and he runs right through you.
There wasn't even anything special. It was just a regular old toss.
Yeah.
Go get him, kid.
Can't have that. Cannot have that. You knew the Commanders were in trouble. That was good, Jalen Hurts, but Barkley as well. Bad was just the Commanders' defense, guys. I look back through. I was trying to find a championship game where the defense gave up 55 points. Last thing I saw was the 1940 NFC Championship when the then Washington Redskins gave up 73 to the Bears.
Nice.
I mean, this was pathetic.
73.
You know that the Eagles had 11 possessions yesterday, 8 touchdowns, 1 missed field goal, and 2 punts. I mean, you've got to hold them up a little bit. I mean, they gave up 459 yards, 7 yards per play.
I'll give the defense.
This was an awful performance. And who was the Washington defensive coordinator who talked like they were going to injure Jalen Hurts and tackle him and do all this stuff? You didn't tackle anybody the whole day. I don't know how you were going to do it.
I got to put a little less pressure on the Commanders' defense because the offense kept giving the Eagles the ball, and they were on the field a lot.
That's a fact. And if you're going to give a team that has those type of explosive weapons,
get done.
It's a wrap. The Eagles do it a little bit differently. I heard this brought up this morning. I can't remember where, but where most teams want to be efficient in the run, explosive in the pass game, they're the opposite. They want to be explosive in the run game and efficient in the pass game, which is why they don't need to throw the ball that much. When they do, they hit on the fourth down type plays to AJ. And yeah, man, that was it was already gonna be a mismatch. The 4 turnovers turned it into a walloping.
And that takes us to the ugly.
Oh my goodness! What did you just hit?
My hand.
Oh, that was just a clap.
That was one of the greatest sound effects we've ever done.
It did come out pretty good the first time.
It's like, what did he just hit?
It was, yeah.
Guys, you know, the Commanders were a Super Bowl or a Cinderella team, and the one thing about a Cinderella team that's bad is that at some point they're going to turn into a pumpkin.
Not every time. A few Cinderellas have gone all the way. Jaden Daniels, I think, certainly played well enough for them to win. The 4 turnovers were the ugly part of it. 2 of them were on passes he completed, and then you drop the ball. The kickoff thing, they call that a crumble, and that means the other team scores a touchdown, you run out and crumble, and then they go right in and score another touchdown.
Right.
I mean, that's just, you can't have that in any game. Turnovers made it no chance. All right, to the AFC Championship we go. And the good, there was a lot of good. I mean, there's so many good players, so many good teams. I went with Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator of the Chiefs. It was not a masterpiece for him, but he didn't need it to be because Patrick Mahomes was going up and down the field. What he needed was one really big stop at the end. And he called those blitzes, and he caught Josh Allen by surprise, just enough to throw that last play off. Spagnuolo continues to get the job done. I mean, other than Chris Jones, can you name a guy?
No, did you see Chris? Speaking of Chris Jones, did you see his
defense?
comments at the end of the game?
No.
He basically said as long as teams are going to continue to allow Spags to be their defensive coordinator and not hire him as a head coach,
there you go.
They're going to keep winning.
He's that good. I thought the corner blitz on 4th down was the checkmate
100%.
play. Josh Allen could have maybe looked to his left. He had a guy running out of the backfield, but he was too busy watching the cornerback come into his face, and he couldn't get the play. And that was the one play you needed to win the game.
The thing with playing the Chiefs is you have to play the clock as much as you have to call your plays because you do not want to give Patrick Mahomes any time at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Even when they gave him the ball back at 5 minutes left or whatever, I was like, that is an eternity. They're going to score.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to score before it becomes important for him. The other thing is, I hope every other team notices what happened at the end of the game when the Chiefs were running out the clock. Instead of just running into the line 3 times and punting,
100%.
Throw a couple of little flat passes, pick up the first down, and end the game.
I mean,
so many teams are unwilling to do that.
They knew, I should say, Andy Reid knew that he also couldn't give Josh Allen the ball back.
One more chance.
He couldn't give him any more chance.
No.
And I love what you said because the first 2 plays, they did exactly what everybody else does. They ran it right up the middle, got the very few yards they could, but then the brilliance of Andy Reid, the type of plays he drew up were
really good plays. They were safe. They were open.
They were safe, but they were also not vanilla.
No. And the other thing is people say, well, we don't all have Patrick Mahomes. Look, you all have good quarterbacks. It's the NFL. Complete a 5-yard pass and win the game.
100%.
All right, here's the bad. And I haven't heard this talked about, and we haven't talked about it. The 2-point conversions. Look at it this way.
I was looking at it the whole time.
It was huge. Buffalo missed 2 of them. Kansas City made 1. Those 3 points was the difference in the game. Kansas City won by 3.
Yep.
If Buffalo makes its 2 conversions and Kansas City misses its or doesn't go for it, the final score would have been 31-31, and we'd have gone right into overtime.
Do you guys feel like
2-point conversions decided the game in a lot of ways?
The Chiefs have about 1,000 2-point plays that they could choose from.
100%.
And they're always open.
And that's
somebody.
the thing. I think the 2 plays they ran to run the clock out are 2-point conversion plays.
You
type
might be
plays.
right, Tony. Good call.
Because I've seen those plays before. It just looked different because it was in the middle of the field. It wasn't near the end zone.
The 2-point conversion they completed was to Justin Watson. I never see this guy until it is absolutely imperative, and then he shows up and makes a catch for you.
He does.
And Buffalo, on one of their 2 conversions, tried what was eventually ugly, and that was stupid old Josh Allen's quarterback sneak over the left guard. The Buffalo Bills are going to forever regret that play. It took them out. They missed the 2-point conversion. They obviously didn't make it on the controversial one as well. The only other thing that was ugly in the game was Patrick Mahomes' attempted spike after the second touchdown.
he tweeted out an apology for it. He said, "This is why I don't normally do it."
That was not a good spike.
That bad boy didn't even make it to the ground.
No. But after Josh Allen's second attempt on the quarterback butt run into the guard that didn't work, and the Bills turned the ball over, Matt Scraby unearthed a video. An audio exchange between official Clete Blakeman and apparently he had a direct line to Commissioner Roger Goodell.
It was during the replay of that 4th down.
Let's hear it.
Hey, Raj, I'm seeing a first down for Buffalo here. How should I proceed?
You shall call them short.
Raj, the referee on the right side marked him past the first down.
You shall call them short.
Okay, Raj, all I'm saying is it looks to be a first down and the world is already onto us.
When I tell you to call them short, you call them short. I will not miss out on the opportunity for the Chiefs to three-peat. There's too much money to be made.
I just don't feel comfortable with that, Raj.
You do as I say, or you will never referee a meaningful NFL game ever again.
Got it, boss.
Yeah,
there it was. I mean, can you believe that's what was going on?
No, I can totally believe it. I think that's what we all expected was going on.
I mean,
as a matter of fact, being as both voices sound sneakily like yours, but you're
tried to throw some twang on it.
Yeah, I know, but you're all of a sudden Clete Blakeman is from the backwoods of Arkansas.
I thought he was. His name is Clete.
Shall call them short.
All right, Darth Vader.
That's actually my voice. I just had to make it sound scary.
That's hilarious.
But you know what? You unearthed that. I think everybody else unearthed it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we all knew that Clete Blakeman was just talking to Roger Goodell. And
I mean, that's what they always
marked
do.
it close.
But
marked it short.
I will say this about the controversy. It's funny how the controversy the week before was penalties. This week, it was the spotting of a ball, so that you can't talk about the penalties. It's insane how many calls the Chiefs get. And then Greg Camarillo with the Xavier Worthy catch. Tony's showing me a picture of Josh Allen. You know what's funny about the pictures, Chris? Is that you could choose any point in that
That is
play.
the point.
Yeah,
that is the
if you show me the video, you will clearly see Josh Allen get over the line.
Well, we already discussed that, though, Scrabe. We did earlier, and we all agreed, even you, that to say without any question that he had the first down is not fair either. It was close, and they ruled in Kansas City's favor, which does seem to happen an awful lot. But it was not. It was not a clear. It wasn't like Josh Allen was 3 yards past the line. It was really, really close. And I want to go back to Greg Camarillo. You've got to start putting a chip of some kind in the ball to mark where the ball is. You've got every.
That was a
you
very
don't think
Stanford answer to.
That's true. He's a Stanford guy.
I'm not saying that it wouldn't
You don't
be
agree
great.
with it?
What does that look like? You're gonna put a
I
chip,
don't know.
and the chip is gonna be like first down, like it's gonna have like a how?
It's
how
a
does that
little
work?
light. I don't know, and you can put it on the screen. And I don't know. I'm not smart enough, but I don't know how the yellow line
Maybe
on the
once
field
it
works
passes
either,
the
Tony.
sensor, it'll give you the first down.
I don't know how
it goes.
How does the yellow line work? I mean,
Well,
honestly,
it's
explain
not.
it.
It's not really a line.
No,
it's
just a graphic.
Just there.
Exactly. So give me a beeper or a sensor that's not
That
a
goes
beeper
off-
or
I
a
got you.
sensor.
How much
I
do you
got
think the NFL is worth in total?
Billions.
Billions. They use 95-year-old men on the sidelines to
Is
do
it
these
that
chain
much-
gangs,
is
and
it-
there is billions on the line.
Is it that much different than any of the other sports?
I resemble that
I mean,
remark.
tennis
how
has a whole
old-
thing
how
where you can go to
old-
the replay and see where it bounced.
How old are the officials in all the sports? I mean,
Not 95-year-old chain gang guys.
I don't know. There's some old.
Have you seen the
baseball umpires.
ACC basketball refs? Mike Krzyzewski would not let any of those guys retired because he owned every one of them. Let me tell you something. That play will go on and be discussed, and so will everything else. But I think in the end, the Chiefs are probably gonna, find a way. Did you ever come to a conclusion as to, or did anybody figure out if a flag ever went down on the field on the 4th down pass by Josh Allen?
Nobody knows, but someone was in Jim Nance's ear.
The
telling him
only
that.
reason why we thought there was a flag was because CBS put flag on the screen. No one actually saw the flag on the ground.
Blakeman came over. I don't think they showed him on camera, but you could hear him go, there was no flag on the play.
There it is.
So somebody,
really
somewhere, somehow there was a flag that was picked up or something on that last play. A lot of people think that they put the flag there just in case Kincaid caught the ball.
Remember the whole Raiders thing when the Chiefs won the game because they made up a penalty in the middle of the game when Aiden O'Connell got the snap and the Chiefs fell on it? And,
I know.
Remember when they were like, the referee came in saying false start and then they overruled him? Why does the one referee who's calling the right thing get overruled every time?
Because maybe he didn't call the right thing.
I need to save this for tonight because I'm going to go crazy.
Save it for the Chronicles.
Coming up
crazy.
Coming up on the Chronicles, it'll be a preview of the Super Bowl between the Philadelphia Eagles and perhaps any other team in the AFC.
I would take any
besides
team.
the Chiefs.
I'd rather watch Deshaun Watson on crutches than watch Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight year. 7 times in a row they've been to the AFC Championship.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
And don't hate the Chiefs. Don't hate the Chiefs in this regard. Every single game they play is like the best game of all time.
Yep.
Every one of them.
They have not played a dud yet.
Whether you're rooting for them or against them, you get a game.
I mean, that's what Ben Higgins said.
It's
He's
a pretty
I
good
like
call.
The Chiefs.
This is it's entertaining.
They're all
Every
entertaining. Every Chiefs game comes right to the wire. They've won 17 in a row, 1-score games. And that means that for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl, they got to win by at least 9 points. And I don't know that they can do it.
I don't think they can.
All right.
Patrick Mahomes, boy.
Oh, my gosh. Brian Sims sent me a thing that says eat water on X.
It's the new thing. You want to lose weight, eat water. According to Matthew Scraby.
It'll work.
Scraby will explain that and how the Chiefs cheated during the Chronicles, which are coming up next. For Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Sello, have a good rest of your Monday night. Let me get a quick update, Tony, on the Laker game.
It's not
here.
good.
They're only up 3.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I'm not
After
kidding.
all that?
I didn't want to tell Tony.
I saw it.
86-83, 10 minutes to go in the 4th. All right. Scraby's
Scraby
coming up.
Chronicles next.
Yep.